what's up, everybody?
What?
It's episode 5 of the Seth and Colby Show.
Seth and Colby Show.
That's better. I wanted a full operatic announcement. That was just like Tarzan being attacked. That's what that sounded like. But welcome. It's historic because it's episode 5. And that's a lot of episodes in a row for us.
That is true.
Because we've never done 5 episodes in a row before because we've never done show before this. It's our first time ever doing a show.
We're new at this.
Right, exactly. So welcome, guys. Today, we're going to talk about things.
And stuff.
Agreed. Lots of stuff.
More things,
and
too.
things, too. Yeah, it's going to be fantastic. So stick around with us, and we're going to talk about all the things and stuff. And huge shout-out to you guys for last week. I just want to say, personally, as one of the hosts of this show. I don't know if you know this, but last week we spent an hour and a half talking about 2-year-old video games and a local theater chain that no one else cares about. And it was by far our most downloaded episode ever. So I don't know if a lot of people discovered us last week and then go, what is this? And we'll never see those people again.
Most likely.
Or maybe maybe our show is famous because it's just complete nonsense like 100% of the time.
Yep.
So we're going to strive today to give you more nonsense.
Good. It's a good brain number.
Yeah. If you want to hear about literally, it's like we're like Seinfeld for podcasting.
Yeah.
It's
just
nothing.
random stuff.
Yeah, it's absolutely
just
nothing.
Fill your brain with nonsense.
Yep. That's it.
That's a t-shirt.
And here's our minute and 30-second long introduction. Here we go. Right now when I find the button. Here it is.
Who are Seth and Colby? So-called podcast gods who blazed the trail for talk radio on the internet.
What a ridiculous name.
First partnering in 2008, Seth and Colby took the internet by storm with their unique views on the hot topics of the day.
Science is a liar sometimes.
We won't lie, they've been away a while. A lot of things may have changed.
45th President of the United States of America, Donald J. Trump.
But Seth and Colby are here to teach you.
This is America. You're either a duper or a doopy. I'm a duper. You guys are the doopies.
To entertain you.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
And to make you laugh. Seth and Colby will dissect the world as it is. Movies, meme culture, music, weird science.
We didn't have time to work out the minutiae of the plan.
And they'll bring it to you in a lovely package that will delight you and those closest to you. Now, ladies, gentlemen, boys, girls, and attack helicopters, here are Seth and Colby.
Well, hello there, friends and family.
How y'all doing?
I hope you are glad you have joined us today for the ye old Seth and Colby Show, and I'm a hillbilly that also talks like a 4th century.
5th edition special
It's
extravaganza.
the 5th edition, the 5th publishing
Cousin
Highly
Pumpkin
revised
Festival.
from the previous episode. We're the only show that talks in hillbilly accents over a dubstep track. That's what we do. Welcome to the Seth and Colby Show. Visit us anytime, SethandColby.com. That's where you go. It's where you get links to iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher. You can get links to the YouTube so you can see our faces as we do this show. It's pretty easy. Just go to SethandColby.com. I'm not going to mention duo anymore because it's just too ridiculous. I feel like it doesn't help anyone by spelling duo.
Take the green weird word, man.
Like everyone knows how to spell Seth, everyone knows how to spell and everyone knows how to spell Colby. I mean, Colby could be C-O-L-B-I-E.
People say Colby, Cody, Colby,
Well,
Bolton,
Colby. C-O-A-L-E-B-E-E-Y-S. The S is silent.
Absolutely correct.
That's how you spell it. So Seth and Colby. Spell it like that, though. Remember, the S is silent. It's important. Not the S in Seth, the S in Colby.
Yes.
Yes. The Seth and Seth is...
Ethandolby.com.
Eth and Colby's. That's our show. But yeah, go check it out. SethandColby.com. Subscribe, leave us a review. Like I said, I appreciate all you fancy people coming on by, stopping on by, listening to our show last week. It means the world to us. And by it means the world to us, it's cool. And we're happy about it.
Fantastic.
Yeah, we like that it's happening.
It's worth doing
Yes.
now. for you people.
I mean, obviously, if you're listening, you already know it's worth it because we've already been hilarious at least 6 times.
We're so fantastic.
Yeah.
Funny.
So, me and Colby got together today, and we did our show prep, literally starting about 1:50. Oh, I probably should mention that we're live every Sunday at 2 p.m. Central Time.
We are living currently.
But then I have to say at duo.com/live, and I don't want to do that. Just go to SethandColby.com and click the watch live button. That's probably the easiest way.
There you
You
go.
don't have to spell duo.
It's just all easy.
For all those people who are like,
Or
"Whoa,
subscribe.
what's so
on
hard with
YouTube,
spelling
and then it
duo?
tells you, or
D-U-O.
turn on the notifications.
That's true.
Because they
Yeah,
make you do
subscribing
that
on
now.
YouTube is probably the smartest way to get there because
Probably,
it just
you
like
know, 'cause
sends
it's
you a
just
link.
like, here, you're good.
Yeah.
This is when we're here.
Yeah.
Just
Plus,
in case you forget.
you get to see like this fun pre-show where we test our mics and stuff.
We do a lot of pre-show.
Although I will
shenanigans.
knock on wood here. I think we've got it figured out now.
Unless you
like-
change it again.
I don't think I'll need to.
Last week it was 100 or 1,400, and now you're at what, 300?
Right, but the
It's
difference.
like
Okay, so
a-
here's what I did.
It's
All right.
a lot.
So we use
moves.
OBS to stream the show to YouTube.
Yes,
that way we can
that
put up
acronym.
like,
Mhm.
it's open broadcaster
Oh,
software,
thanks, man. I didn't know that.
I mean, did you need to know that?
I think many people would be like, OBS, yeah, my elbow, right, continue. Yep.
Is your elbow in OBS? What's that? What's your elbow? What?
Obsolete bionic system.
Did you say obsolete because it starts with OBS and that's how your brain worked?
It's the only thing I could do. I didn't know where I was going.
All right. I thought
We use OBS.
you could have totally told me
I didn't know what it
that an
was. I thought
elbow
people wouldn't
was
know what
like
it is.
a scientific term, had OBS in
I
it, and I
should've.
would have bought it because
should've.
your
I
mom's a
should've messed with
nurse
you.
and maybe you would have known that from just being around her
Also
brain.
did good in anatomy, apparently. Not
I-
that good.
I didn't know that either because there's got to be a scientific name for elbow. Like doctors don't just call it elbow.
Trachea.
That's your throat.
That's your limbic system.
That's not your elbow. for
No
sure.
science, don't question me.
Oh, that's right. You're the science guy. Sorry, that's my bad. But anyway, we use OBS. Okay. OBS for Windows is even on, like, let's say Windows XP runs about the same as a top of the line Mac OBS.
That's stupid.
It's just the way, I'm sure you know this as a video editor. Like, video and audio rendering and streaming on Mac is wonky for some reason.
Wonky.
Like, it's not, I'm not technical enough to explain it, but like, you know how like there's like hardware acceleration and all that stuff that, you throw these terms around to sound smart. Like, Windows does those smart things
Yeah.
and Mac does not. It's like it's got to process more on a Mac
Right.
before it goes out to the internet. Where on Windows is literally, it's like a pipe. Just shroom through the pipe out to the internet. Mac is like, okay, here comes the video. Now we got to wash it. We got to like caress it, tickle it a little bit, and then we'll send it off to the internet. And all of that tickling and washing's got to happen real fast.
Okay.
Well, my computer's like 4 years old. It's not top of the line.
Yep.
Okay, but it's still good. It's good enough
Right.
for what we're doing right now, which is 720p video.
Yeah.
I assume it's good enough.
good
Again,
enough.
knocking on wood. Here's what happened. I do like 8 shows. All right, it's ridiculous.
It's
All right?
4. Yep.
I had a lot of different scenes in here. So, like, when you changed, for example, like on the video right now, we just switched to the countdown. All right. And now we're switching back to video because the music was playing and it's annoying. But essentially, when I do that, I'm changing scenes. Okay.
Right.
I had like a bunch of scenes because I had a starting, a middle, the show camera, and an ending one for all these shows. And I was trying to be too cool. So last week, our intro was animated. Like, it would say live really soon would come in, and then it would go out, and then it would come back in, and all the artwork in the background was moving and doing all this cool stuff, and now it don't do that.
Aw.
I literally pushed pause
So cool.
when in the middle of the animation and took a screenshot of it and put that on OBS now. So it's just a still image. Because I think
That
the
works.
problem was my computer was having
processing
too
too
much.
much, yeah.
Yeah, it was having too hard of a problem or too hard of a time playing a video for the internet.
Yeah.
It couldn't handle it.
And definitely with layering in OBS. I mean, layering, and if I were to do it in After Effects, it takes 10
Right,
minutes
that's
to
what I
run
mean.
through the whole
It's
movie to-
horrible.
yeah.
So I just turned it to a screenshot, and
easier.
I think because of
That
that,
would definitely render faster.
it works. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think I deleted most of the scenes that we don't really use a lot, and I think that also helps speed it up because I have a hunch that even though they're not selected, they're still playing,
Yeah.
which seems really dumb to me. Mm-hmm. But that's the only way I could think that, like, why would there be 10 here and I'm only selecting one, but it runs 9 times slower?
Yeah. That'd be weird.
but it's got to be.
prep them all up or something.
Yeah, like buffer them or whatever. Just don't do that. Just be slow for 5 seconds and then play like normal.
Well, that makes sense.
Because that's what I want. So I deleted all those. So I'm hoping now, going forward,
you don't touch it again.
I don't need to mess with it. It should just work every week.
Well, that's good because,
Of course, with that said, I mean,
like 10 minutes
I
trying
think
to
it
figure it
literally got worse as we did. Like, our first episode was good, and then our second episode was a little slower. Then the third one was, like, streaming from 1930s Romania.
It was very
And then last week was even worse. And so this week I rebooted it. So for all I know, it could just be worse next week. And every 5 weeks I'm going to have to rebuild the stream. It's going to be in black and white for episode 10. Because that's the only way we're going to be able to run it.
Man, yeah. Black and white. We should just go old school.
How do we even get on that topic, man?
360 DPI. No. 360p.
Did you just have a stroke on the show right now? I don't know what just happened.
New topic. So Justice League, huh? What happened to the director?
Yeah, man. So I didn't read this story because I thought you would be able to tell me about it because you're all into Batman and stuff.
I'm not. Man. I'm the opposite of
Dude,
that.
then why do you got a picture of Ben Affleck hanging in your wall? Inside your
You can respect beauty, like...
Oh, okay.
Come
I
on.
gotcha. You just want to stare, but you don't really have an interest?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just eye
Can't
porn.
be. Eye porn. You into porn.
That's porn, just in general.
I wondered why you taped a naked man's body under his head.
Yeah, you would. So from the title.
Should I read it?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so Joss Whedon is replacing Zack Snyder as the Justice League director.
That's mind-blowing.
Which, I mean, I read that headline to you right before we went on air, and you were like, the movie that's coming out in like
Snyder's
6 months?
daughter, Autumn, took her own life. Ooh.
Yeah, so it says Avengers 1 and 2 director
That
Joss Whedon
sucks.
replacing
That's
Zack
dark.
Snyder on Justice League after Snyder announced he's leaving to deal with a family tragedy. Tragedy in question is a massive one. Snyder's daughter Autumn took her own life in March at the age of 20. Snyder and his wife, filmmaking partner Deborah, are taking time away to heal their family. As Snyder tells it, trying to finish Justice League was initially his answer to working through the tragedy, but that has since changed. In my mind, I thought it was a cathartic thing to go back to work with just to bury myself and see if that was a way through it. The demands of this job are pretty intense. It's all-consuming, and in the last 2 months, I've come to the realization I decided to take a step back from the movie, be with my family, be with my kids who really need me. They are all having a hard time, and I'm having a hard time.
I read that paragraph. Whedon was brought in to write additional scenes for the movie that has already released a trailer, probably two trailers.
It's definitely
had
a
teaser
trailer
and a trailer.
Yeah, a teaser and a trailer.
So
right?
the already cut, done, ready to go movie now has to be scenes reshot.
When is this coming
finish
out?
this shot. Like, I think it's competing with Star Wars, right?
So end of the year.
It's later in the year.
So end of the year. The movie was supposed to come out. Zack Snyder worked for 2 months after his 20-year-old daughter killed herself on the movie before he's like, nah, maybe I should take some time to deal with this.
Do work.
Which is pretty intense to begin with. And then Joss Whedon, who apparently was a script doctor, trying to fix what I'm guessing is the garbage movie that's coming out.
Well, now I'm excited.
Well, he says, okay, Whedon is apparently brought in to write additional scenes for the movie after seeing a rough cut. Now he'll be finishing those scenes in order to bring the film to completion. Okay, so he's just going to finish whatever's left.
Right.
Okay, so
he may recut it, though.
The president of Warner Brothers says the directing is minimal and it has to adhere to the style and tone and the template that Zack set. We're not introducing any new characters. It's the same characters in some new scenes. He's handing a baton to Joss, but the course has really been set by Jack. I still believe that despite this tragedy, we'll end up with a great movie. So he's not really directing the full movie.
He didn't direct anything. He is now directing the cutting, the
so
editing,
if the movie
and the
was
shooting of
bad
additional
before,
scenes.
it's just going to still be bad.
Yeah.
Because Joss Whedon's kind of just doing a solid for a
Right. And I
paycheck.
mean, that it sounds like the studio's going to be looming over every decision he makes anyways.
Yeah,
'cause
isn't
they need
that
to keep
really
it a
like,
tone.
they say...
I don't know why you would do it.
It has to adhere to the style and tone and
The
template.
only
that
reason
Zack said.
I would want to do it if I was Joss Whedon was to say that I did the top 2 biggest fucking all-time
Right? Have you
superhero
heard of
movies
Marvel?
both different.
You know those movies that just destroy you every day. Like I did those.
Mhm.
Like maybe I'll do whatever I want.
Yeah, how about
because
you
I'm
just
Joss
let
Whedon.
me do me
Right
a little bit
Like
here.
you know that I'm Joss Whedon and he's Zack Snyder.
I don't know. Maybe he had stipulations, I'm sure, at Marvel too, but still, he made them. He made the Avengers.
Yeah, he made the Avengers. You let the man whose one movie probably grows more money than all of the DC universe together.
You
make
know,
some
like
decisions, right?
if you're the Milwaukee Bucks
'Kay.
and you get LeBron James on
Right.
your team, you don't necessarily tell him, "Hey, LeBron, you need to pass some more."
Well, it's like
You let him
that
do what he
literally
does.
happened. Like when LeBron went back to the Cavs, they fired their head coach because LeBron didn't like the way he coached.
Yeah.
And you know what happened the next year? They won the championship for the first time ever.
Yeah.
Joss Whedon is like LeBron James of comic book movies.
There you go.
Like you let him be LeBron James for comic books.
Yeah, you give him the budget. And
Yeah,
the
you don't
right,
make him
and
play in
boom,
Adidas
there
because
you
Zack
go.
Snyder wore Adidas before you showed up.
Yeah. I don't know. That's sketchy. The only reason like I said, the only reason why I would do it is to say that I had help or I finished this movie. And now I did Batman, Superman, The Flash, Cyborg, Aquaman.
Well, it's weird because like Joss
Iron
Whedon doesn't
Man,
make
Thor,
movies like
Hulk.
anymore. Like
Crazy.
I was under the impression that like Avengers 1 and 2 got him so exhausted and
Yeah,
burnt out that
that's what
he's
it sounded like from
I'm done.
interviews, yeah.
But now he's coming back to like this giant big. He's doing the Avengers of DC now.
I think the only
Maybe 'cause it's
gotta
only
be
half.
Yeah, literally, it's just the cutting part.
Right.
Maybe it's just the
He's got
least-
like 6 scenes
he's
left to
done.
shoot.
Yeah, he doesn't need to shoot
But-
anything.
Okay,
He's
this is
just
gonna
gotta
sound
put it all together.
insensitive. Obviously, I have no idea what it's like going through a tragedy like that. But I mean, if there are only 6 scenes, don't you think he would stick around? Like if he did 2 months and there's only 2 weeks
And like
left,
your assistant director couldn't really,
Right.
take on some
like
of the,
you got to bring in
take on
Joss
some of the
Whedon.
load. Yeah.
So does
I
that
don't know.
mean? Oh God.
What?
What if this is now a corporate conspiracy?
Oh, no.
They brought in Joss Whedon when there really only 3 weeks left. Well, they didn't need to because the AD could have done it.
Right.
Or, the Unit 2 director could have done it.
Yeah.
But they bring in Joss Whedon because the movie's going to be bad, and now they get people like you excited about it because Joss Whedon
That's
has a hand on it.
100%.
That's what's happening.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a corporate coup.
That's what's
They're
happening.
taking over. They're
They're
like,
trying to pull a wool
Zach,
over
you're
our eyes,
out.
man.
no, I doubt it.
That's what they're doing.
It sounds like a messed up situation, so they're just trying to salvage
Well, it's messed
it.
up for Zach, but
Yeah.
they could have just let the AD do it. It comes out in like 6 months, man.
I
They gotta be
mean,
like done with the movie.
Well, now you're gonna be when it comes out, you're gonna be like Joss Whedon edited that to make it what it is, and if you saw it, then you're gonna be like, well, that was made by a dude who just lost his daughter to suicide.
I guess this is what's
so-
crazy to me. Like the thing from the guy, the head of Warner Brothers, says the directing is minimal, and it has to adhere to the style and tone and template that Zach set. Minimal directing with 3 qualifiers,
Yeah.
and they bring in Joss Whedon. Like if they have that many, they have a minimal
weirdest thing
directing
I've
with
ever
3
heard.
qualifiers. They could have brought in you,
Yeah.
and you would have been able to do it because there's so many guardrails. So why bring in Big Dog Joss?
Like,
Joss has just got to be cashing
I
checks.
think that's.
And
yeah.
I mean, good for him. I mean, he's made some great stuff
I
over the year
guess.
that just gets shat on.
Is there anything
so.
in this article that as to what he says, Joss says of anything?
Nope. Zach says, here's the thing. I never planned to make this public. I thought it would just be in the family, a private matter or private sorrow that we would deal with. It became obvious I needed to take a break. I knew there would be narratives created on the internet now. They'll do what they do. The truth of it, I'm past caring about any kind of that thing. I want the movie to be amazing, and I'm a fan, and that all pales pretty quickly in comparison. I know the fans are going to be worried about the movie, but there are 7 other kids that need me. 7 kids? I got 6 kids! You know how many pairs of Jordan 6 black kids wear?
Pet the fluffy wall.
Okay. That's Get Him to the Greek. Anyone who didn't understand that reference. It's very obscure. But there are 7 other kids that need me. In the end, it's just a movie, a great movie, but it's just a movie. So yeah, nothing from Joss. Nothing from Joss.
So weird, man.
Dude, that's very strange.
mind blowing.
Like, it's got to be about done, because how many visual effects, like, how many months of visual
Oh,
effects
yeah.
and editing and post is that movie going to take?
There can't be much more other than adding to character building. I think that's the only scene changes that he's making.
You
It's
think
like
there's going to be a
adding
lot of,
some
you think he'll write, like, snappy
more
Joss Whedon jokes?
scenes, maybe, to get you to care
Yeah.
about the
Instead of it being so
characters
serious all the
more.
time. Well, that's like Marvel's thing. Like, they're the carefree, happy-go-lucky. Like, even though Ultron's destroying half the planet,
Yeah.
Tony Stark's still cracking wise.
Yeah.
That's not a DC thing.
No, and I doubt that will happen at all.
I
but
don't either. It's
I'm
just it's not. It doesn't feel like
I
a
feel
Joss
like
Whedon
the whole
property.
ending is probably done. The whole ending's
Right.
done.
It's got to be like chunks in the middle, just like random fluff.
whatever ad we can add to maybe make
Right.
you
He's
care
definitely
more
not
about
filming
Wonder Woman
the
or-
climax of the
Right.
movie.
Yep. So I don't know. It's still gonna be crap, but it's weird that he's gonna put his name on crap.
Maybe he won't.
He saw the critical acclaim and everything and backlash of Batman vs Superman, and then was offered this and was like, "Yep, I want my name attached."
Maybe
to
he's
that."
just good friends with Zack Snyder and he wants to step in.
Maybe.
Like, if I was doing a terrible project, you know, and then someone died in my family, I'm like, hey, man, there's like 10 minutes left. Will you come finish it? You come do it.
Yeah.
Even though it was bad.
Maybe.
Especially if you got paid like $20 million or got a percentage of the gross.
I would do it if I was getting paid, any amount, probably.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, he's definitely getting paid.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well,
he's got that Disney and Warner Brothers money.
Man, God.
Well, I mean, while we're talking about movies, what about King Arthur, man? We've talked about Sony going bankrupt on this show, right?
I think so.
I think that was this show.
Yeah.
So, like, King Arthur made like $6 over the weekend. And that's a Sony movie.
I think... Oh, I was looking through my Facebook. That's what it was. I was looking through my Facebook, and I saw a post that I actually made. I shared the trailer on my timeline, which I don't do.
That was
don't
like a
use
while
Facebook.
ago, right? Yeah.
I'm like, this is good enough to share with the people that I want to see it. And so I shared it, and I was like, oh, man, look at this movie. Look at this movie. It came out, didn't see it, and then I saw the reviews, and then I was like, yep, that's why I didn't see it.
It's got a $175 million budget, and it made $119 million worldwide.
Wow.
That's really bad.
Well, $175 million was just the budget for the movie. I also heard that they had $100 million in advertising, marketing.
Right.
But
I think the way movies work, I mean, obviously I'm not a movie guy. I don't know everything, but I'm pretty sure the way movies work is that Sony just has a $1 billion marketing budget. Yeah. And every movie uses the same budget.
That would make more sense.
But if every movie they're making loses money, which is
some.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. It's like, but if every movie is flopping, because I think the idea is that because they have $1 billion for marketing, so they can spend $15 million on this $5 million movie because King Arthur's going to come out and make, $500 million, and then they can have money for the marketing budget to make up for that.
Yeah, the reasons I've heard for this thing flopping was that there's just we have our fill in TV. Everybody's saying this is the golden age of TV right now, and I mean it is.
It's true. Yeah. I would say that's true.
So I mean we have our fill of Middle Ages fight.
I mean there's
crap.
1,000 of them.
And I mean the last King Arthur movie was with
Clive Owen.
Yeah,
that was pretty good too.
It was bad. It box office.
I think
bad.
I watched that when I was like
box office
15.
bad. I know I rewatched it recently, like maybe a year or so ago, and yeah, it's bad.
It's got Keira Knightley in it too, right?
Yep, it's bad. Yeah. She has like she's like strapped so tightly, and she has no boobs. She looks like me, just strapped in this like just a belt right across the nipples.
Why?
Just because she's a weird forest living dwelling. Magical
it sounds bad.
Person.
It sounds bad then.
It's bad.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's that you got Game of Thrones, Vikings, stuff
do we
like that.
care about King Arthur?
No,
like when you
don't.
shared
that
this to your
reason.
Facebook,
yep,
like did you go, wow, a King Arthur movie, or did you just go
I mean,
Charlie
kinda.
Hunnam with a big sword?
I like King Arthur if you do it right, because I've definitely
Has it ever
watched
been done right?
At least 4 movies of King Arthur. There was one. There's an old movie that was pretty good.
Is it Sean Connery's one?
I don't know.
Because I think he's like the most
But
famous
then there's
King
another
Arthur, right?
one. I think it's called Excalibur. That one's like 3 hours long, super weird. Definitely has a sex scene between like Arthur's wife and Lancelot. Like that was a plot or something
Excalibur
like that.
Film. Here we go. 1981 British epic fantasy war
this
drama.
Is the one. Pretty sure I wouldn't recognize
it's 1981, so it's like a long
but
time ago.
Yeah, okay, so people aren't really that interested in King Arthur. We have enough middle-aged
Helen
good
Mirren
content. Yeah,
Helen
I bet
Mirren,
you that
dude.
one's it.
She got naked a lot when she was younger, so that's
yeah,
probably it.
That's
probably
at
it.
the top, so that would be my guess. But also they say Charlie Hunnam cannot carry a big-time movie. He's not a big enough star.
Was there any
name yet.
evidence for that?
No, I mean, yes, there's plenty of evidence to back that up.
Okay, like what?
Pacific Rim. That was
Bomb.
the only other one that he was a major,
But he bombed.
the main
That
character,
movie bombed,
and
though.
it did. So yeah, he can't carry a big one. And the only other thing he's done is Sons of Anarchy, and that's
Well, right, and I think that's the problem is that like he's a good actor because you know that Sons of Anarchy is a good show.
I don't
Like
know
that show has a
if
good
he's
buzz about it.
pigeonholed or what, but
Well, I don't think he's a household name.
No.
Like if I went to my mom and I'm like Sons of Anarchy, she'd be like, "Yeah, I've heard of that show."
yeah.
But
Most
she's
people
never
don't
watched
watch
it
because it was violent as hell.
Well, it's also on FX.
Some dude like
FX
stuck out his tongue, stuck it out, and then just kept it out. Slammed his chin down on a table and cut his own tongue off with his teeth. They showed that, and it was the most gruesome thing.
You ever think
one
like
of the things I've ever seen
in America you can see that on TV, but if you show a woman's nipple, like the world ignites?
Yep. Yeah.
That doesn't really make any sense, does it?
Doesn't
Doesn't make
really
any sense.
at all.
But yeah, I think that's the major thing. Like I just don't care about King Arthur, and I can't now think of one movie that I saw with King Arthur that was cool.
And I feel like there was one.
Like I feel like there's been 100 King Arthur movies. Like he's kind of like Sherlock Holmes. Like he is the knight from that time period. Everyone knows King Arthur, but I don't think I've ever seen a cool
I've seen
King Arthur.
Sword in the Stone.
That's a Disney one, right?
And
That's
it's
like
an
one of the
animated
like
Disney
least
ones.
regarded Disney movies of all
Really?
time. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like responsible for like
It is a little weird.
ending the Disney Renaissance of the 70s. Yeah.
Well, apparently King Arthur just shouldn't be made into
Fun fact
things.
though, Sword in the Stone was the final movie completed and released before Walt Disney died, and Walt Disney wanted to redeem himself, and he made the Jungle Book. And the animated Jungle Book is so good.
And that was the last one that he did?
Well, he died right before Jungle Book released.
Oh, okay.
So he technically wasn't there when Jungle Book was
I
made
gotcha.
public, but it was the last one he physically had a hand in. Instead of his big frozen head. 'Cause he's
I don't
frozen.
know, man. I feel like I hope that this happens more.
More flops?
More flops to where studios go under and we get bigger, better, I don't know. Netflix gets theater time.
Well, I think that's the problem. I mean, let's talk about that one because I also have this article. It says Netflix, apparently at the Cannes Film Festival, Netflix was booed. So it says, let's see, I'm trying to get past the fluff here. Let's see. Netflix, movie studios and theater chains are dealing in self-sabotage, going all in on iffy jackbox like King Arthur, while their chips slowly general. Cannes? Is it Cannes?
I think it's con.
Cannes? Whatever. That fancy film festival in France.
Yep.
Announced this week that starting next year, it will no longer consider Netflix movies for competition. The ruling is ostensibly due to the fact that Netflix movies are available on the streaming service at the same time as they hit theaters. French law requires a 3-year window between the two to help finance local art, but audiences there weren't booing over tax issues. It's a matter of elitism. Netflix has 2 movies at Cannes this year. The audience members booed at the premiere of Okja, a new film from South Korean master Boo Jong-ho. It wasn't the film's quality, it got glowing reviews, but merely the fact that it's available on Netflix right away. Cannes is a world of cinema purists, and jury president Pedro Almodovar, a master filmmaker himself, has said that Netflix must play second fiddle to the century-old traditions of the film world. Quote, I personally don't perceive the Palme d'Or should be given to a film that is not seen on the big screen, Almodovar said earlier this week. All this doesn't mean that I am not open or celebrate new technologies and opportunities, but as long as I'm alive, I'll be fighting for the capacity of hypnosis of the large screen for the viewer. What's missing from all Aldomar's statements and the jeers of the film critics who agree with him is any sort of broader context. Cannes is the home of the elite, but we no longer live in a world in which most filmmakers are free to peruse their visions. Pursue. Dude, I can't read today. Backed by fawning movie studios. In fact, despite the explosion of outlets and interest, it's harder than ever to get a studio to back an original movie out of the gate. More and more, only when a movie is independently financed and finished do studio execs consider distributing it, and often it's just to get their names as Oscar continues. I mean, we don't even need to read more about this. I mean, that's literally the point. Yeah. Like, they want... Netflix is literally giving an artist home because... they know that people aren't going to see movies in the theater anymore unless they're Guardians of the Galaxy 2, which is the funniest movie ever made. Yeah. And so these little low-budget movies made by South Koreans that would never be seen in American theaters
by anyone,
audience, except for maybe the people who really care about Cannes or Con, whatever. Like, Netflix is their home, and more people will now see that movie than ever before because it's on Netflix, and Netflix can serve it up to people.
Instantly available.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right. And Cannes doesn't like that because you can't go see it in a theater.
That's the dumbest thing ever. They're elitists. They sound like douchebags.
Well, and they're cannibalizing themselves. Like, their industry's dying, and now they're pushing out the one thing that can save it.
The one thing that's is doing much better.
Yeah. It's like we don't want any of this money. We want our artists to thrive, but then the artists don't thrive without Netflix. Like, there's a reason these people go to Netflix, and it's because people will see their movie. Because I guarantee you Jong-Woon Chong-Chang, or whatever his name is, cares way less about getting the Palme d'Or than he cares about people seeing his film.
Yeah. I don't frankly understand. Like, do studios get like money or something? Just respect for getting awards?
Everything I know about that comes from Entourage.
Yeah.
So I would assume that, Harvey Weinstein pulls up at Cannes and he buys a movie that has already been made and financed independently by the guy who wears the ankle monitor around his ankle. And the movie's already been made, it's been produced, it's been cut, it's been edited for the most part. They premiere it at Cannes, and then Harvey Weinstein buys it for $1 million or whatever. And then they take the money from there on out. The studio does. And they distribute it as part of the deal, but it's technically their property, so they get all the money.
Right.
I'm sure there's some minutia deals and plans in there. It's like the director gets this much if it hits this box office number or whatever. But Netflix, I'm sure, just goes, we're going to pay for your movie.
Well,
we're going to put your movie on Netflix. That's it.
It's starting to seem like the article was saying, I mean, this kind of somewhat off topic, but the more independent art house or Oscar bait movies are only getting distributed by the bigwigs because they want to win an Oscar.
Which is stupid because Manchester by the Sea was an Amazon Prime original movie, and it won like 4 Oscars last year.
Well, also, I don't think any of the Oscar winners made anywhere near as much as Star Wars or
Agreed.
Guardians or anything like that.
Agreed.
So if you're a business like movie studios are, why would you even, we're seeing it, it's slowly being phased out of them getting Oscar-worthy movies, because 4 movies won every fucking award this year?
Yeah, exactly.
Almost all of them were just 4
films.
and
10 years from now, all those movies are going to be online.
Yeah.
First, they've got to be, because a lot of those indie movies are on demand the same time they're in theaters.
Yeah.
Netflix just doesn't, I think they do for some, but they don't necessarily put all of their movies in theaters.
Right.
I think they do for some. I feel like that Beasts of No Nation, that one that was directed and written by the guy who did the first season of True Detective, and then the second season he wasn't there for. I didn't see it either. But I think because it was so renowned by this guy, they put it in limited run in LA and New York. And
I know Brad Pitt's got a movie coming to Netflix, so why would he not want that?
I mean, to the actors in them, if they can get nominated for Oscars, if they get paid the same amount of money, why do they care if it's online or if it's in a theater?
I don't think anybody does.
I don't think so either. In fact, I think more people are going to see Brad Pitt's new movie than saw Fury, than saw that one movie he's in about the ocean, then Inglourious Bastards. Then they're going to see more people are going to see his new war movie than saw his last 12 movies combined on Netflix.
Yeah,
easy, because that's what Netflix deal is that they pay for these movies that are similar to movies people already stream. So people watch a lot of Brad Pitt movies on Netflix, so let's make an original Brad Pitt movie because we know people are going to watch it. That's the whole idea.
It makes sense, and I just feel like I don't know. I feel like the studios could start putting, or they are starting to put, more obvious concern over what movies are going to make more money over what movies are going to win an award, because the Guardians of the Galaxy is not going to win an Oscar.
It might for visual effects or makeup, but it won't win for one that matters.
Right. It will make you more money than one who would win Best Picture.
Well, and I feel like Disney got that figured out. They're not in the business to win Oscars. They're in the business to make money.
Yeah.
And if they did want to win Oscars, they would make a movie specifically for that reason, and you would know it. I feel like Into the Woods is an example of a movie they wanted to win song Oscars, so they made it. So for that reason.
Right.
But Pirates, they just make that because they know it's going to make $1 billion. Guardians of the Galaxy, they made it because they know it's going to make $1 billion.
I'm just saying, I think it's going to eventually come to a close where there's going to be more people are going to be like, let's be Disney and not focus on
Why wouldn't you want to be Disney?
Yeah, so I don't get the whole.
That's what I don't get about the elite artists.
Academy Awards, at least.
I feel like the Disneys and the Warner Brothers, and not so much the Sonys, but Sonys want to be in there, of the world, the 20th Century Foxes that make the big movies that don't necessarily win Oscars, but people go and see it and make buku dollars.
Yeah.
Those people are going to keep doing what they're doing until theaters go out of business. And it's probably as long as they keep doing it, theaters will still be around in a more limited capacity. I think we're going to see more theaters like Alamo Drafthouse that have 6 screens that are all reserved seating, and it's more luxurious because it's now I'm going out to the movies. It's going to cost $100. I'm going to see this movie. It's my budget. We talked about this on the show. We budget $50 every couple months to go see a good movie. And that's what we're going to do. These artists, no one watches their movies because you're budgeting for these big budget ones.
Yeah.
So you watch them on Netflix, and now they're banning Netflix. I mean, what it's going to do is Netflix is absolutely going to start their own festival. There's going to be a streaming movie festival, and Amazon's going to be there, Netflix is going to be there. All these, I mean, they got like Crackle and all these other things that are just online
YouTube
content
Red.
only. Right.
Yeah.
That's the future. And when we're in our 60s, and our kids are our age, that's what's going to be, and Cannes going to be dead because all the people are going to be on streaming because that's where the money is.
Yep.
Because you could be an elite artist all day, but if you can't finance your movie,
and you can't make up the budget to make the movie, then I mean the trend is going away, except for on streaming platforms.
Yeah, I just can't imagine unless you're an elitist idiot.
Yeah,
looking your
Too
investor.
proud
Yeah,
to-
exactly. Ego and pride.
Right.
You can't look your investor in the face and be like, "Well, Netflix will give us $10 million, but then we can't go to Cannes and win an award."
Yeah.
And like your investor would be like, "Are you an idiot?"
Yeah.
Like
Take the $10 million.
Yeah, take the $10 million.
Dumb.
Right. Which is literally what happened in Entourage, actually. He's like, "Take the money!" And then I'll buy it for $1.
That sucks. So they'll let that movie in,
That's
but they
just
won't
crazy.
let a Netflix movie in.
Yeah, man. Says, as audience members make clear, people care more about the show on the screen than the exhibition format or location. When given a choice between seeing a good movie at home or sitting in a dark room to watch a bloated corporate product, the former usually prevails. And here's where the disconnect comes between critics and general audiences. Critics get to see more movies for free. If they miss the press screenings, they usually live in cities where all new movies are out in theaters. The speciality indie theater scenes in New York, LA, and Austin, along with a few other cities, are thriving, making it feasible to see any notable new foreign release on the big screen. But for the most part, indie theaters across the country are shutting down, victims of digital conversion costs and ticket prices as much as the competition in people's living rooms. So Netflix is $12 a month, or Amazon at $99 a year, or $10 a month, offer the only opportunities for most people to see a large selection of great movies from notable filmmakers on a regular basis. Amazon in particular has put real money behind any filmmakers left behind by the studio system. The conglomerate's film division is run by 90s indie trailblazer Ted Hope. Netflix, meanwhile, received high marks from Bong, who's the guy who directed that Ojai movie or whatever, who praised the company for giving him total freedom with Okja. And guess who is financing Martin Scorsese's long-awaited movie, The Irishman? It's not his longtime partners, Warner Brothers or Paramount. So, I mean...
Shoot.
I just don't understand Cannes.
Oh yeah, it's
just
gonna eventually just turn into you're buying a $30 ticket to see Star Wars when it releases online.
Dude,
you go to play.com and
right,
you're gonna start watching theater movies in your
I
home.
mean, it's literally the people at Cannes, they hate us because they ain't us.
Right.
That's the problem. They're just they're too proud.
I
to
just don't
accept
get
the
that.
future.
Doesn't make any sense because it's just like the studios that are putting movies onto big screens aren't making movies for your stupid film festival.
Right.
They're not making them.
Right.
So why wouldn't you want to award the people that are doing
Right.
it, no matter where
You
you're
would think
seeing
as a film
it?
festival, you would want to get the movies that are the best and most
Quality.
well seen.
Since that's what you're determining your
Right.
award on is quality.
Right. Well, it also brings good attention to your festival. Like,
That
if
too.
a great movie is at your festival, that only helps. Like, Tallgrass Film Festival here in Wichita, I really have no context of how big that is nationally,
Yeah,
but they're
me
trying to be big.
Right.
At least it feels like they're trying to be big, and you can tell because they get bigger and bigger films each year. And if they were just like, nope, we're no longer going to show this Martin Scorsese movie at our festival because it's on Netflix. That's just the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Yep.
Because just pull up, just do a screen mirror on your projector and show it in the theater. Who cares, dude? Who cares? I don't understand it.
I don't get it either.
I don't get it. It's just people shooting themselves in the foot, dude.
People are dumb.
But
People are dumb.
I just don't get it. All right, let's keep talking about movies. So, Uncharted, the game. All right.
Yeah.
You played, 10 minutes of the first Uncharted?
Yes. No, I don't know which one I started with. I think I started with 2.
Did you start with... No, you definitely started with 1, I'm pretty sure.
I think I started with 2. No, you're right. I did.
Because I wanted to play multiplayer with you, so you went out and bought it, and then you bought Uncharted 1 because I didn't realize Uncharted 1 didn't have multiplayer.
Oh, yeah.
And so I remember being like, dude, it says multiplayer right on the menu. And then he sent me a picture of it, and I'm like, well, I'm dumb. So that's what happened. So I don't know if you even own 2.
I
but
might not.
Uncharted is one of those series that literally defined... It's like what's a movie comparison? It's like Lord of the Rings. Like Lord of the Rings was the first of its kind, and it set the standard for fantasy movies for the next. It's still going, really.
Right. Yeah.
Uncharted's like that for video games. Like the style, the cinematic gameplay of Uncharted, where you do a bunch of game stuff, and then there's a 5-minute long cinematic that you have some limited control over that goes into the next thing. It's basically a playable movie. Uncharted started that. Now, the first one is not a good showcase of it because you can really tell that they were just playing around with the idea. But then Uncharted 2 is like ridiculous. Like it's way better.
It's probably written and
storyboarded. They realized that the most special thing about Uncharted 1 was not the game, it was the story. And Uncharted 2, they focused more on that than they did on, here's 30 pirates for you to shoot in a rock-filled area.
That's kind of the reason why I gave up on
I don't blame you. Uncharted 1, anyone who plays the Uncharted series, like I gave it to Cameron to play. And I told him, Uncharted 1, set it to the easiest difficulty and just run through it. Because the whole point is to get to Uncharted 2. But Uncharted 1 is kind of an origin story.
Yeah.
And then Uncharted 3 came out. That's my favorite Uncharted. It's so well made. It's just a blast to play and a blast to watch. And then Uncharted 4 came out for the PlayStation about a year ago. And that one is so refined that my brother, Luke literally came over here and he watched me play for 15 hours because to him it's a movie.
Right.
He wants to know what's happening.
Yeah.
He doesn't care that there's 5 minutes here and there where I have to have a firefight because in Uncharted 4 even the firefights are done in such a way where they feel like you're in a movie. It's like watching an action sequence in James Bond. It's not a 10-minute long gunfight for no reason where they just send in people to kill. Like you have 3 people you got to get past. You can either do it stealthily or you can kill them. You can do whatever you want, but it's short and it's just to get you to the next part in the story. That's the whole idea. And what's weird about that is that the Uncharted 1 is about Nathan Drake and this old guy named Sully who's like Nathan would be like his protege.
Yeah.
So he's like an old friend, kind of taught him some tips and tricks. You don't really know anything about Nathan's past or his family. You know that he's an orphan, essentially, and that's it. And he's looking for the treasure of El Dorado. Along the way, he meets this reporter who's also doing the same thing, named Elena. And Nathan Drake and Elena eventually get married at the beginning of Uncharted 3. And that's kind of the whole story. And then in Uncharted 4... his brother shows up out of nowhere.
Yeah. Fuck shit up!
Well,
murders his wife!
Uncharted 4 was basically...
decapitates the body.
For some reason...
sticks it on a spike.
I just want to see how far you keep
Fuck
going.
you, brother!
I just wanted to see if I kept ignoring how much you'd escalate it to try to get me to acknowledge it. And I realized that something was going to happen with someone's penis at some point. It was going to be over. But, so Uncharted 3... is like is supposed to be his last hurrah. Like throughout Uncharted 3, they got married between 2 and 3. He's semi-retired, but he solely gets in trouble, so he's brought back into the thing, kind of against Elena's will, but it's Sully. So she's like, "Go do your thing." But afterwards, he gets his ass beat. Like he's too old, he's too tired, he can't do it anymore. It's like Indiana Jones, The Last Crusade. Like it's his last hurrah. And at the end of the game, he basically retires. Uncharted 4 starts, he is retired. He's like a salvage worker. He like dives for gems and stuff legitimately. And then his brother shows up who he thought was dead. And that starts the whole thing because his brother's like, "No, man, there's treasure." So they go off as a brother duo, and it's about literally his past and growing up with his brother, which he didn't really know much about. They didn't even say he had family, really. There's a scene in Uncharted 3. It's very small. It's literally him meeting Sully for the first time. Before Uncharted 4, that was the only past Nathan Drake you ever saw. But in this, he's like 12, 13, 14 years old, and he's an orphan on the streets. The rest of the games are all old Drake, 30 to 40.
Right.
Well, Tom Holland, the guy who played Spider-Man, is apparently going to play Nathan Drake in the new Uncharted movie. So it's going to be a prequel.
Make sense.
It's completely before the games. Apparently, Uncharted's been in the works since like Uncharted 2 was a huge hit. It's another Sony movie. They own the games. They can make the movie. And it's always been in like development hell. Like it's gone through like 4 directors and like 5 writers. But now that they actually have a cast attached to it, it sounds like it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And I don't know how I feel because on one hand, the fact that it's a prequel means the games can exist on their own.
Right.
I don't have to watch the movie and go, "Wow, the game was better," because they're trying to tell the same story or there's characters that are in, but they're way different than they were in the games.
Yeah.
It's like the experience you have when you see a movie from a book that you really love, and they kind of messed with the book.
Right.
So on one hand, you got that, because now I don't have to worry about them messing with it. But on the other hand, how is it now an Uncharted movie when it's about a kid?
Yeah.
That's kind of weird.
That doesn't make sense to me, yeah.
Like, because does that make it a kid's movie? Like, you wouldn't watch Indiana Jones if Indiana Jones was a 16-year-old, because that's like Adventures of Tintin, which is a kid's movie.
Yeah, but it sounds like... What's your mentor's name?
Sully.
Sully
Yes.
will be your Indiana Jones in this movie. And then Tom Holland's the little Asian kid that follows him around the entire time.
Uncharted? Because
It's a prequel to it. It's charted.
But it's not going to be. It's
and
not
then
going to be a
becomes
prequel
Uncharted.
because they obviously want it to be a franchise.
Yeah.
So are they going to have a young? They're going to have a 20-something old man Indiana Jones style franchise, and they think that's going to work.
I don't think they should be focusing on franchises.
Well, because the entire idea behind
Just
Uncharted,
shouldn't.
I mean, it's very.
Just make one good one. And
Well,
then
yeah,
just see
Sony
how it
probably
goes.
shouldn't focus on
Yeah,
making.
Sony shouldn't.
They might not even get to make this movie because they're going to be bankrupt. But like the
Emoji movie, man.
in Uncharted 1, Nathan Drake is a treasure hunter.
Yeah.
But he's like a treasure hunter like you would see on like the Discovery Channel.
Mm-hmm.
He's a guy who has a dude who gave him $50,000 to go to Africa and try to find a vase. It's that type of idea. It's something that someone who's athletic could
Right.
do. It's not anything crazy. And the whole point of Uncharted 1 is that, he's in way above his head now.
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing. And then Uncharted 2 is more about, like I said, it's more about the interpersonal relationships behind people than it is finding something. Like he chases down a warlord in episode, and it's not about diving the depths to find things that are way beyond his capacity. And I think the only reason Indiana Jones works is because he gets older and his adventures get less grand. Like, first movie, he finds the Ark of the Covenant. Like, you can't top that. So in the next movie, it's completely different. Like, he just finds this weird temple and he stops sacrifices from happening. And then the third movie, he's fighting Nazis.
Then you have to like find his dad or
Yeah, Sean
something?
Connery's in it.
Yeah.
But it's like an old man adventure where it's
Right.
mostly sneaking and there's occasional punching and shooting, but it's mostly him running away instead of him being on the offensive. And then the fourth movie is unspeakably
It
bad.
breaks that cycle
Yeah, it
a
just
little bit.
and guess what? Everyone hated that.
Yeah,
movie.
it was a bad decision.
So my point is, with all that rambling, is we're supposed to believe that for 20 years, between the age of 15 and 35, which I'm assuming Nathan Drake is around that age for Uncharted 1, he's already had 20 years of these swashbuckling, big-budget movie adventures.
Yeah.
And then in Uncharted 1, it just kind of, like, you can't make it a prequel.
Right.
Because it doesn't, you can't say it's a prequel to Uncharted because it isn't. Because he would have a back brace on the entire time in Uncharted 1 if he had already been a crazy adventurer for 20 years.
Nah, he's a kid.
Like,
man.
how's Bear Grylls going to be in 10 years, man?
Probably fit as a motherfucker, man. You
You think
spend
so?
all your life surviving? No.
You think so?
You sit on your ass and mess with a computer.
Right. That's what Bear
That's
Grylls is
what
going to
I
be
do.
like, man.
But
He's going to be like me.
No, he's
Yeah.
gonna be. He's gonna become a bear.
Dude, who is a really...
literal bear.
He might transform into a bear.
And just eat people.
That's possible.
Like that's his future life.
But, like, you don't see... I guess my even in video games and literature and everything, like, take Geralt of Rivia. Like, most of his time is downtime. It's just traveling, the occasional, I gotta kill this guy type of thing.
Yeah.
It's not every year there's an adventure that would literally kill most people, because I feel like that takes a toll on you. And if you're going to do that for 40 years, it doesn't work.
That's true. I don't get why they're making it. Sounds stupid to me.
Well, like, look at Game of Thrones. you know?
I didn't. I mean, National Treasure is basically the same thing, and minus Nick Cage.
Yeah, but those movies are purposely bad.
Nick Cage is my guy.
Like,
Don't
don't
talk
dude, I'm
shit.
not talking shit on
Don't talk
National
shit
Treasure.
about
I would
Total.
watch this movie. Don't talk shit about Total. But I'm telling you, man, National Treasure, it's great. It's a great movie, but it's like True Blood. It knows what it is,
Yeah.
and so it treats it doesn't make you, it doesn't want the audience to think that you're a good movie.
Sorry, I'm
like,
adjusting.
it knows that it's bad, and it embraces that it's bad, and that's why it works.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, True Blood was that
mean,
way.
a
Like,
little bit.
it's so ridiculous. The show knows it's ridiculous. It doesn't try to take
I feel
itself
like
too
National
seriously.
Treasure 2. Yeah, definitely. I don't think there was a third one, was there?
What's like a National Treasure 1? He steals a Declaration of Independence.
I feel like
all right?
I heard there was a National Treasure 3.
There is. They're making a National Treasure 3, man. It's going to be so good.
Stop it!
Are you talking shit about Total?
I'm talking shit. I said that National Treasure sucked minus Nick Cage. He's my guy. Don't talk shit about Nick Cage.
You don't like Riley, man?
But yeah, Riley can go fuck into hell.
What?
Who's the dad? Sean Connery?
Dad is John Voight.
Yeah, that's right.
John Voight, dude.
Isn't that fucking Angelina Jolie's dad?
Yes.
So
yes,
weird.
it is. That's Angelina Jolie's dad.
So weird.
Here's why. If this is from, what's the date? 12 months ago. This is a year ago.
So
from
it's
Cinema
not, it's
Blend.
not happening.
Why National Treasure 3 is taking so long?
Who's the studio? Because...
Walt Disney.
Oh, okay.
It's a Disney movie.
Yeah,
okay,
then
Nick
they're
Cage's
focused
comment
on
suggests
other
that
things.
going to get National Treasure for quite some time. The script is still not complete. Production on another National Treasure probably going to get started until at least 2017, which means it would only be released in 2018
so
or 19.
old already, man. He's definitely not in any sort of shape that he was in when the first.
Did you
movies
know that Nick Cage is an Oscar winner?
What'd he win an Oscar for?
Dude, I don't even know.
That's terrible.
But he is. Here, I'll look him up. He won an Oscar.
Like
Raising Arizona, I think might have been it, or I want to say it was Raising Arizona. Let me see.
There's an awards section in there or something.
There's got to be, right?
Guy's got a star on the Walk of Fame.
Oh, I mean, of course.
Jesus.
You know he owns like a full T-Rex skeleton?
No.
Yep.
He is a T-Rex.
Yep.
He's a fucking dinosaur, man.
God, where's he at?
I don't think he won no Oscar. Is it on the sidebar?
I don't know, man. Why is it so hard to find? Let me just Google Nicolas Cage Oscar.
Oscat.
Google will know what I mean.
Oscat.
Best Actor, Leaving Las Vegas, 1996.
And adaptation. In
So that was a
2003.
nominee. He didn't win for that one.
So he has won a fucking Oscar, though.
Yeah, so he's an Oscar-winning actor.
And Leo wasn't until last year. That's insane.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
It's insane.
It's dumb, dude.
That's why you shouldn't strive to win one of those awards, because Nick Cage has one.
Okay, so March 4th, 2016, Disney CEO Bob Iger responded to a question regarding the fifth day. It said, "We've done two, and yes, they were really, really fine movies. We know Jerry Bruckheimer, who produced them, has had conversations with our studio a number of times about it, and there have been some developments along the way, but as of right now, we have not greenlit, as we say, a National Treasure 3. But we do know there is time and some resources spent in development." On May 23rd, 2016, so a year ago, 3 days ago, said Nicolas Cage confirmed the movie was still in the writing process.
That's crazy.
There's also apparently been 8 books.
Huh.
Disney Press has published a series of spin-off historical novels about the ancestors of the Gates family.
That's ridiculous.
Dude, this is why Disney is God.
Yeah.
Because they have like a book publisher that we don't even know about.
I didn't know there were National Treasure books or that they own National Treasure.
But you know they probably
who
made
did or
$1,000 because they wrote 8 of them.
Mm-hmm.
They don't write 8 of something that doesn't make money.
That's insane. Disney has too much stuff.
Do you think there's a guy at Disney who's like just the point person that they go, okay, here, we're making Star Wars. And then he goes, okay, so I'm going to get this to books, to music, to these 15 marketing channels.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how do they get it on toys and cups and toothbrushes and car wraps and,
They own
and jumbo
factories
jets,
and
jumbo
shit,
jets?
man.
But they got to make deals with all these people.
Yeah.
Like, do you think Disney calls Crest or do you think Crest calls Disney?
I think Crest calls Disney.
I would think so, right? They're like we
if
want
you get
Darth
a
Vader,
sponsored,
please.
Yeah, I saw Star Wars fucking makeup for
Right.
women. And I was like, CoverGirl got that shit. And I'm like, CoverGirl definitely came to Disney and was like, we want to start a nerd line of makeup.
I would love to know what Disney says no to. Like, who do you think calls Disney and they're like, we want this?
Dildos? I would think dildos, sexual stuff probably
they
draws
probably
the line
got
there.
requests for that, I'm sure.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that there is a Darth Vader dildo out there. It's just named like the Sith Lord or something.
Barth Vibrator.
Oh, God. That's probably it, though, I
Yeah.
would say.
Yeah, I would think
Anything
so.
else they would put it on.
That's just crazy to me, dude. Just crazy to me.
That's insane.
There is a Gates family tree on the Wikipedia page for National.
It's huge.
What?
Wow.
Oh my god, dude.
That is really old. He's not related to anybody famous in the past, is he? Because that would be dumb.
Benjamin Gates.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man. And Alice Gates.
God, Benjamin Gates, that sounds familiar. I feel like that's Tech Nine's real name.
Tech Nine is Nicolas Cage.
Yeah. I think it is.
My God. Well, let's look it up.
Sounds right, I think.
Tech Nine. Look, I spelled it with the
No,
9.
he did. That's how he does it.
I'm good.
N9NE.
Let's see. Where's Tech Nine's Wikipedia? Aaron Yates. Close. Not Ben Gates, but Aaron Yates. Sorry, man.
Totally wrong.
Did you know that his
Oh, God.
Did you know his music genre is horrorcore? You know that?
Mm-mm.
I didn't know that either.
That's terrifying.
Horrorcore is a subgenre of hip-hop based on horror theme and often darkly transgressive lyrical content and
I
imagery.
mean, there are some songs that are kind of like have a horror tone to them, but I don't think every single album.
Its origins derive from certain hardcore hip-hop and gangster rap artists such as Ghetto Boys, which began to incorporate supernatural, occult, and psychological horror themes in their lyrics, and unlike most gangster rap artists, pushed the violent
Fucking
content and
dumb.
imagery in its lyrics beyond the realm of realistic urban violence to the point where the violent lyrics became gruesome, ghoulish, unsettling, or slasher film/splatter
yeah, they're
film.
so ridiculous that obviously they're not things that happen.
Notable artists. Bone Thugs and Harmony. You listen to them?
No.
What about Big L? What about Blaze Ya Dead Homie? No?
Nope.
What about Brother Lynch
What about
Hung?
Taserface?
No, that's from the funniest movie of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about Cool Keith, but with a K?
Nope.
Who's going to take Cool Keith seriously? Oh, jeez.
Is that a woman? It's a man-woman?
Dude, I don't know how to describe. He's wearing a headscarf, right?
Is that a scarf or is that hair? That is.
Yeah, he's wearing a gold
Okay,
headscarf.
that's not a woman.
What
it's a
is-
man.
He's got a giant eagle on his coat and five
He's
stars.
a general, man. He's a general in the Arabian dumbass army. I felt like red there
The
for
ADA.
a second.
Yeah, you're gonna put your boot up his ass,
Put
man.
my boot so far up that eagle golden ass of yours.
There's this show on Amazon I've been watching called Patriot.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really good show. But one of the main characters is played by a guy who plays Red Foreman.
Oh, great.
And he acts just like Red Foreman in the
perfect.
show, and it's fantastic, dude.
What's this show?
It's called Patriot.
Oh, okay.
It's got John Locke from Lost in it.
Okay.
And he is like this CIA NSA guy.
Mm-hmm.
They don't really say where he's from.
Gotcha.
Basically, he has two sons. One is a fat guy, and one is a CIA agent that works for the agency under the command of his father, basically. And the brother is a congressman. So, like, he's a normal style dude. All right. The whole idea, it takes place in, like, 2007 or something, right when Iraq is having this election. And one guy wants to be friends with the U.S., and the other guy wants to build nukes and not be friends with the U.S., okay? And the whole premise of the show is the main character, John Locke's son, has to assume the identity of a regular guy who works for a pipe company in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, so he can go to Luxembourg and do dead drops with people who can then do business with Iran. Because the CIA can't be known that they're doing business with Iraq or Iran, whatever country it is. And because of this, he has to have the identity of a regular person. So the whole premise behind the movie is him trying to have this secret identity, and everything is going wrong. It's actually kind of a depressing show, but it's really good.
Okay.
It's hard to explain. It's like a dark
Where's
comedy.
it at?
It's on Amazon. It's an Amazon original series.
I don't have Prime.
Yeah, you're a piece of
I need to get
scrub lord.
Yeah, I haven't been buying a lot of things, so I didn't really.
It's
need
worth it for the.
but I
We're
feel
on the
like I should
$10 a
probably.
month plan,
Yeah.
and you get video and you get all the Prime shipping and all that stuff too. It's worth
So
it.
what's the difference
Well,
between the 99?
you don't have to spend
plan?
$100.
That's stupid.
You're stupid.
Well, I mean, like, I get having both, but why?
It's just it's
Have
easier
both.
for our budget to pay $10 a month than it is $100 a
At
year.
one time, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I get you.
Yeah.
Same Z's.
Yeah.
But
It just feels more manageable for $10 a month.
I just don't like it.
Okay.
Give it to me for free.
Well, I mean, that would
I
be
want
great.
it for free.
I wish we lived where
Ship
everything
things
was
to
free.
me immediately for
Can
free.
we remove this guy from
Yes.
our thing?
I don't know why you were staring at him for so
I
long.
don't either. But
Got my butt. So, are you excited about Homecoming? Spider-Man?
yeah, I'm not a huge Spider-Man fan, to be
Yeah.
honest. I mean, I'm excited about it because I'm sure it'll be good.
I feel like they just came out with like trailer 3 for it, like yesterday or the day before.
They came out with an international.
And then I watched that, and it got me a little bit more
like,
hyped.
Marvel does like a teaser trailer,
Yeah.
and then they do a teaser poster, and then a month or so before the movie
This
comes
was
out,
definitely a new trailer.
they do a
because
final trailer and
Yeah.
a final poster,
They-
and those just came out. I
Stark
think.
has a plane, the plane that Vulture and Spider-Man
Right.
fight on. It's attached to the Avengers Tower.
Oh,
And that's where it takes off at. And then, like, I don't know if Spider-Man is, like, helping protect the plane
Yeah, that's
from
what I
something,
think I'm most
and then
interested about to
Vulture
see if
gets at him,
Spider-Man
but
ends up in the Avengers.
I'm assuming he'll get there by the end,
just
but
this-
I just don't see how Iron Man couldn't handle Vulture, you know? Like, if they came face-to-face, like, obviously Iron Man's winning.
I have a hunch that Iron Man will handle Vulture,
Yeah.
but he's probably not around for some reason.
I don't know.
Because remember in the
I feel
trailer,
like he's gonna
like-
be a lot around in the very beginning, and then it's gonna be all Spider-Man in high
Agreed.
school in the
And then
middle,
he'll show up
and
in
then
the
very
end.
end.
Yeah.
Well, in the middle to take his suit away.
Right.
And then he's trying to get it back or something, and then he's
Yeah,
on
I
the
think he'll be
plane.
at the very end. Like I
The
think
very-
Spider-Man will handle
bad
most
thing
of the big
I
stuff by
had
himself.
with the trailer, the first one that came out, was it's the movie. It's the movie. Just cut into a minute and a half.
Yeah, I kind
The
of agree
whole
with you.
plot's in there.
Yep.
It's like he just got done with the battle at the airport. Now he's having to deal with
You wanna know
knowing
why that
these
is?
superhero people.
So you watched like Guardians trailer,
yeah,
right? Knew nothing about the movie.
Yeah,
You knew that it was about his dad. That's about it.
right,
Civil War trailer. You knew they fight. You didn't know why. There's no. They don't spoil the plot.
right.
You know what the big difference is between Spider-Man and the rest of the Marvel universe? Sony did all the marketing.
That would do it.
Yep.
That would do it because, yeah, they definitely cut everything in the fucking movie.
Right.
Because I know that the villain is Vulture. I know he makes his own suit. I know
Right.
that
They can't keep it in their
Spider-Man
pants.
fucks
Dude.
up.
They can't do it.
Yeah, and then loses his suit and then has to fight him old school
Right,
style.
and you know that
then
he's gonna
wins at the
win.
end. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No,
absolutely.
he's dead. Tom Holland plays him for one movie.
I mean,
he's dead.
they Sony'd it up, and I think that's why I'm not super excited about it, because I'm kind of like you. Like, I would only go see this movie because I want to see Spider-Man swing around and see Iron Man crack
Yeah.
wise. I'm not as like Guardians. I wanted to see because I want to know what was happening with the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Right.
Like that was the whole idea. The fact that they're also cracking wise and kicking butt is just a fun side product.
Yeah.
But seeing Spider-Man, I kind of know the plot. So I'm not super hyped to see it
Right.
because it's kind of been ruined. Like Thor Ragnarok. You said you watched that trailer and you're excited about it.
Yep.
Do you have any idea what's happening to Thor Ragnarok besides Thor loses his hammer?
Do because I watched an analysis video of it.
Yeah, but that's probably speculation
But
from the comics.
before I knew anything about it, I did not know
Right.
anything about
And
it.
your analysis video is just people who have read the comics and
Yep.
they just go, this is what happens in
This is
Ragnarok.
who this is. This is
probably
what
what's happening.
has happened.
But
yeah.
you don't know that.
Right.
You do know that Spider-Man loses his suit.
Yep.
You do know that Vulture
He's
attacks Stark.
fighting Vulture.
Yeah, you know all these things
Yep.
because they showed it all.
Yep.
It makes it less fun.
I do know that Thor faces oh crap. Her name is Death or something. She lives in hell
Yeah, okay, yeah.
and she I
The
forget her
Charlie
bad
or
name.
the Kate Blanchett character.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
And then she does Ragnarok's apparently a thing that happens to Valhalla like
Yes.
on a multi-yearly
I've heard
basis
that,
or
yeah.
century basis, and then they just rebuild constantly, so it just never ends.
Right.
But she
Right, because
breaks
he's going to go to basically the underworld.
right.
Like he's going to heaven essentially.
yes,
but
and
it's
then
not
they
like in
also
their
showed
mythology.
Another
When you die, you're like drinking beer there,
right.
and Ragnarok destroys that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So your heaven's just gone.
Right.
But yeah, the trailer obviously didn't give anything away as to what's going to.
Right, 'cause
I
you
mean,
don't know
it
what's
did,
happening. Like, but you don't
kinda-
know why Loki's next to Jeff Goldblum.
Right.
You don't know why
There's
Jeff Goldblum's
much
there.
more secrecy. There's no questions I feel like I have from watching the Spider-Man trailer.
Right.
There's none.
Right. Like our questions are like, how much is Tony Stark really in it?
Yeah.
That's it. You
Yeah.
know? And I think that's I might have a different opinion if I cared about Spider-Man more. I'm not a big Spider-Man guy, and I feel like I mean, I know you're kind of not either, but
I mean, I
we're
never
in the
really was
minority,
in
though.
the comic book range. I do like superheroes. Batman was badass,
Right.
and I think the only reason why I liked that was because of cartoons, probably.
right.
And
Agreed.
then it was the Dark Knight.
Well, I was an
trilogy.
X-Men guy. I mean, because the
Yeah.
cartoons were awesome.
I never watched the cartoons.
I
The
think
only
they're
time I
before
ever
you
got
were
into it
old
was
enough.
the first
Right.
X-Men movie,
Right, which was like 97 or something.
21 or 2001.
2001, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, in 2001 I was already 14.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's I think,
Motherfucker.
like when you were the age to watch the X-Men movies, I was that age. I was watching the cartoons.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big difference. But like and you know, Spider-Man cartoons were like big for I think like in the early like 2005, 2010. I think Spider-Man cartoons were huge. I don't really know.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Because we haven't really watched, like, they're all on Cartoon Network and stuff, you know? But I don't know, man. But I'm just not a big Spider-Man guy, but I feel like we're definitely in the minority with not liking Spider-Man. Because I know people love Spider-Man. Like, I think he's the most relatable superhero. And I think that's why people love
the only,
him.
like, younger one, nerdier
Right.
one. and-
Like, I think he's the nerd.
Yeah.
So people who are nerds kind of relate to him.
Right.
Not that we're not nerds. It's
That's
just,
why people are
I'm
excited
never-
for this one, too, is because it's not an actual adult playing a high school
Right.
kid. It's a young kid playing
Exactly.
a high school
It feels more like Spider-Man, and I think that's right. And that's the Kevin Feige Marvel running, understanding this is what it's got to be if it's going to work. It's not, let's get Tom Hardy because people will pay to see Tom Hardy be Venom.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, a Sony thing.
Yep, I don't see why or how or if or that they'll do that movie
Right.
because
Like,
it's what
no one
a
knows who
year,
Tom
2
Holland
years
is.
off.
I mean, that's the difference
Yeah.
between Sony and Disney.
Uh-huh.
Is that they go, what actor can we get to make the best Spider-Man?
Right.
Where Sony goes, what actor can we get where people will come see Venom? Even though if it's bad or good or whatever.
Because they're coming to see Venom, not the actor.
Right, right. And Tom Holland is now a household name because he's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Spider-Man isn't going to be good because Tom Holland's in it.
Right.
Yeah. And Sony's banking on the fact that because Tom Hardy's in it, people are going to like Venom.
Right.
It's like, well, no, we'd like Venom if it was good and a lampshade played Venom. We don't care.
Yeah.
We just want it to be good.
Definitely been told that people are like, oh my God, Tom Hardy, man, you see that? I'm pretty excited.
Well, Tom Hardy usually makes good decisions.
Yeah.
Like he dropped out of Suicide Squad like it was a hot turd.
Yeah.
So I guess if
Who
he
was
sticks
he?
around,
He
but-
was supposed to be the army guy, I think. He was supposed to be Flag.
Didn't he get replaced by Will Smith?
No, he wasn't supposed to be Deadshot.
Oh, okay.
But
I don't know. I
the
never saw Suicide
The
Squad.
leader of the Suicide Squad was a military guy, and he's
Okay.
in charge of them because they're villains.
That sounds like a Tom Hardy role.
Yes,
Yeah.
that would I think was him. I thought he was going to be Captain Boomerang because Jai Courtney is Captain Boomerang, and they're very similar.
Gotcha.
He's like a knockoff Tom Hardy, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, but everyone has a price. So, I mean, they give enough money to Tom Hardy.
I don't know. I'm just looking forward to Star Wars. That's my thing.
Yeah, dude. Well, let's talk about that because we've just been rambling about nothing for an hour.
Yeah.
Let's talk about these pictures, and then maybe you can tell me a little bit about them because I don't really have any idea
know
what's going on.
anything
So
about
these
anything.
pictures are from Vanity Fair. These are like the first photos of characters from The Last Jedi.
Okay.
Death of the Jedi. What's the name of the movie? Last Jedi? Yeah.
Death of the Jedi.
I couldn't remember, dude.
Death of the Jedi.
There's too
The
much
Last
happening up
Jedi.
in my head, dude. Witcher
Good
TV
God.
series. That's all I care about. That's all I'm looking forward to my whole life. So this is the first look at Benicio del Toro's character, the shifty DJ. The newcomer
Who's
to
the
saga.
director that has a name similar to him?
Benicio del Toro?
Yeah.
You think of Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah.
Yeah, Guillermo.
Yeah, and he was in Always Sunny. As
Guillermo?
Yeah.
He was?
Yeah, as the you told me this as the grandpa of the McPoyles or something like that. He's
Oh my
he's
God. I do not
Daddy
remember
McPoyle
that.
or something.
That's hilarious, but
yeah.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, he told me that.
That makes perfect sense.
That's
He'd fit
funny.
in there.
I thought it was him, and then I was like,
No,
"No,
that's
way,
the guy from
no
Sicario.
way, he's in Always Sunny."
That's the man
I know, I
that
get their
forcibly
names. They got
that
the same
forcibly
last name.
sexually assaults
Yeah,
a Mexican
puts his
cartel.
dick in
Yeah.
somebody's
That's
face.
that guy, and
So-
gave me a whole. He's also the collector in the
Right.
Marvel movie,
He looks very much like he's in the Rogue One set.
doesn't he?
Oh yeah, that looks so much Rogue One-y. And he looks like Han Solo.
I kind of love the look.
He looks badass.
He looks awesome, doesn't
but he looks Han Solo.
he? Dude,
character.
it must be so nice to just get in Disney's pocket,
right.
like because now he's in Return of the Jedi, or Return of the Jedi, whatever the name of the movie's called, the Jedi movie.
Marvel.
And he's a collector in Marvel, you know, and he's at Disneyland now and like a Guardians of the Galaxy ride. And
dude, just get in when you can.
that's all you got to do. I mean, he's set for life.
Yeah.
It's like Alan Tudyk, you know. Alan Tudyk, he's a great dude. Everyone loved Alan Tudyk. Nothing. And now he's in every movie.
Every TV show canceled. Though.
Right. He just was in another one that just got canceled. But he's got that sweet Disney money, dude.
Yes, he does. He's in basically every animated movie.
Yeah, he's in every animated movie ever. He's the robot in Rogue One.
4 characters.
Yeah, he was the bad guy in Wreck-It Ralph. Yep. He was in Frozen. He played the voice of the chicken in Moana.
Yes, he did.
And all he does is make chicken noises.
Yes, he does. I saw that.
And you can't even hate the guy because you love him so much. You're like, good for him.
Yep.
I'm glad he made $1 million to go because good for him, dude. That's what I like.
That was so ridiculous.
Right.
And then I forgot too. He's also Sonny in iRobot.
Right.
That was a big one too.
Right. Well, like he's been kind of in a lot of things, but it's all over the place.
Favorite character was Transformers.
I didn't say that.
It was great. He played like a kind of psychologically broken Russian like hitman / assistant to the.
Dude, he makes a good villain. Is he a villain in that?
Not really.
Because
he's he's the computer.
Well, have you seen Dollhouse? Did you watch Dollhouse?
I watched parts
because
of it.
he was the bad guy in Dollhouse, and he did it so well. Like he played like this psychopathic guy, and like he buffed up for the role.
God, I'll show you a scene that you need to see from. It's just the funniest thing.
Transformers.
Yeah,
which one?
The best scene. I think it was either 2 or 3. I want to say.
But he's only in one of them. Yeah, and see that's the thing with him. He's like he's in one thing, and everyone loves him.
And then he goes crazy when they're like in a bar and they're like having a showdown, about to like get shot by like these bar henchmen people, and then he just like whips out a sawed-off shotgun, puts it in this dude's like mouth basically, and like they both lower to the floor, and he's just holding it there, and then he just like whips out a pistol, holds it at another guy while still holding the shotgun to the other dude's face, and then he's just like the entire time the guy he's the assistant for is like hunch, Dutch, hunch, hunch, and then he's like drops the guns. He's like, I'm so sorry, that was the old me. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, he's great. He's a
scene.
comedic actor, and he's also good at being serious.
He was the funniest part of Firefly.
Agreed. Totally agree. He outshined Nathan Fillion.
Yeah.
That's hard to do in Firefly. Yeah, so I'm glad he's in Disney's pocket. But anyway, let's keep going. Here's Laura Dern as Vice Admiral Emmeline Holdo, a newcomer. Do you care any thoughts on her?
Nope, don't give a shit. She is a purple lady that is probably the replacement to Mon Mothma, and I don't give a fuck about your side crap-ass female character.
Well,
don't care.
Her, dude. That's a big actress, though, to have as a side character.
Who?
Laura Dern.
Who's that?
She's huge.
Who's
she's
that?
She's kind of a heritage actress. She was in Jurassic Park. You'd probably know her from that.
Who?
Laura Dern. Jurassic Park.
Singing the song doesn't help me. No, I don't know who that is.
Okay, well, she's in Jurassic Park.
Okay.
You know the lady in Jurassic Park?
No.
Okay, well, can't explain it. Here's Carrie Fisher, writer-director Ryan Johnson, Mark Hamill, and producer Kathleen Kennedy with Fisher's dog Gary and Hamill's daughter Millie. Just hanging out on set. I mean, that's kind of cool, too.
That is cool.
It's kind of a cool set
Before
photo.
she did.
Yep.
Poor Carrie.
Here is Neil Scanlon, seated right there. Creative supervisor of Star Wars Creature Shop and guest at the Canto Bite Casino.
There's some interesting looking creatures.
Dude, look at this guy.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm just going to tweet this with no context to our Twitter. Just that face right there.
That's great.
Look at this guy, dude.
Is that like Lady Gaga right in the middle?
Right here?
Yeah.
That kind of looks like Lady Gaga.
That looks so much like Lady Gaga.
It also looks like this guy has this lady's hair on his head, and that's kind of fantastic.
I think they're like one person, man. That's weird. Or is it just weirdly shaped?
I don't know, man. But this lady right here got boned because this lady's like donut hair is totally cutting off her face.
She's like a fat Hut lady with a normal-sized face.
This is weird,
That
dude.
is super weird.
This is very weird. Is this guy's arm right there?
Yes.
Wow.
He's in a suit.
Wow.
Or something. Dude. I don't even know.
This guy's my spirit animal right here. This is who I want to be when I grow up.
That's ridiculous.
That's who I want to be.
So ugly.
Oh, here's another shot. Here he is again, Mad Dog in here. I'll just clip this photo right here, too.
Oh, my shit.
I'll just schedule it to go out tomorrow for no reason. I mean, what are the contexts
God.
behind these?
It's gonna be like a gala,
Like a
event, it
party
looks
or
like,
something that they're
yeah.
going to?
Where? Okay, so I'm assuming that this is gonna be a new planet somewhere, probably in the Republic, would be my guess,
Well, it makes you wonder, like,
or maybe a separatist, like
okay,
their
so
own
who are the
government
other
thing.
characters in the movie? Like Finn and Poe.
Mm-hmm.
Because if Rey is being trained by Luke,
Right.
that's the A quest, so to speak.
I watched an interview with what's his face, Poe, and he said that he has most of his time is with Carrie, and so
Okay, so there's going to be
they're going to be on a ship.
so they're going to be
probably
fighting
trying
the
to-
First Order.
That or probably because
Because it's really going to be
blown
two
up.
movies, right? Like one movie, the A movie is going to be Rey with Luke Skywalker, and then the B movie is going to be Carrie Fisher, I'm guessing Finn and Poe, and BB-8
trying to
take down.
hide.
I don't know.
Because I thought you took them down last one when you destroyed
Well, you
the
blew
planet.
up their planet,
Yeah,
so
they only have so many
They were
ships
all
after
on it.
that. Yeah. Hux got off. Snoke's alive. Kylo's alive. All the main villains. Every henchman's gone. Most of their henchman army
well,
is
the
gone.
Silver Lady's back, Gwendolyn Christie.
Oh, yeah, she made it too.
Yeah, somehow.
Stupid. I don't know. This looks weird.
I guess I just don't
I'm
know.
concerned
what the
about what we'll be seeing.
Right, with all these weird creatures
Yes,
in
like I
elaborate
don't
costumes.
want to. I think they're all just lined up. Maybe they're not in every scene like this together, but I'm sure all the ones that are.
Well,
dressed
this is the
up look
costume
like it.
designer, so I think the idea here is that he's showing off his work. But
Right.
still, there's a lot of people and a lot of formal wear.
Yep. What's the next one? Keep going.
All
I
right.
see Kylo.
There's Kylo right there,
Oh,
man. First Order
shit.
leaders General Hux, Kylo Ren, and Captain Phasma.
Oh shit!
Look at that, dude.
He got a scar on his face.
Yeah, he does. A big one.
Hux looks a little older, a little bit.
That is literally the
Is
Tyrion
that a
Lannister
different
scar.
actor for Hux?
No.
No.
Nope.
Same dude.
Yeah, that's Dom Hall Gleason. I love him. He's so good. Did you ever see the robot movie with him in it? With also
Robot
it also
movie.
had Poe in it, Oscar Isaac,
Yeah.
Ex
Robot.
Machina.
Yes.
Did you ever see that?
Oh no, I didn't know they were both in it. That's
They're
crazy.
both.
but
Go
yes, I did
watch
see
that
it.
movie.
I did. Yeah,
He's
it's
great. Yeah,
pretty good.
I love that movie.
It's pretty interesting. It was
Yeah,
definitely.
I don't know how
didn't know how
Phasma's
thriller
alive
it was going
still.
to be. Yeah,
There's also a lot of nudity in that movie.
yeah.
There's a lot of naked women in that movie.
I don't really recall.
You should go
nudity.
watch it.
Hmm.
It's good. Made
Yeah.
it sound like you're gonna watch it for the nudity, but it's
Well,
actually a good
he doesn't have a helmet,
movie. Nope.
but I've heard he will have an. Well, no, it's smashed in the trailer.
I bet he wears. I bet he gets a helmet.
I would assume it would be.
You can't just make a new one, 3D printer.
Right.
Right. I mean, they can build Star Destroyers.
Rocket had a fucking goddamn spray.
Right.
The anything you want.
It's
gun.
future. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the future. He could, if they can make planets that blow other planets up and
Yeah.
suck suns, I think he can make a new helmet.
Yeah.
Also, they have to give him a helmet because how's the guy at Disney World going to play him if he doesn't look like Kylo Ren? Because there's only one guy who looks like that. They either got to hire a chimpanzee or they got to get Adam Driver. It's the
Yeah.
only chance because his nose and ears are
That's
so
funny.
big. Remember that picture of him with the goat?
Yes.
All right, so here's Rey with holding a lightsaber, just
Being all super badass.
right. Like that shirt is way too low cut. It's definitely trying to make her sexy,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, you can't.
Also,
not do
that's
that.
Luke Skywalker's lightsaber.
Yep.
That doesn't make sense.
I'm sure he made another one.
Why would he make it look exactly the same?
What? Why?
That's the one that he dropped on the cloud in Cloud City when he got his hand
That's
chopped
the
off.
one she brought with her.
Oh, is that the one that was in the box?
Yes.
Oh. Okay, well then.
What do you think it was? A new lightsaber out of nowhere?
Yeah, sure. I didn't
No,
know.
it's
I thought it was-
definitely Luke's from
Well, so
Bespin.
where's the one from Return of the Jedi? It blew up on the Death Star?
That one, I'm assuming he still has.
No, didn't he get
No,
his
he
hand cut off
threw
again?
it.
He threw,
No,
yeah,
he
he threw
threw
it.
it.
He threw it into the
He
dirt.
might still have it. Who knows?
Well, that one. So someone went down to Bespin and just picked that up.
Maz did, and that's why Han was like, "Where'd you get that lightsaber?" And she was like,
That's a story for
good
another
question
time."
for another time." And that's everybody was pissed at JJ for that because they were like, "Just fucking say something."
Oh man, he's got to lost
just
it up.
say something.
He's got to lost it up.
yeah,
dude.
no, yeah, you found it up your ass. It fell from Bestman, whoop, right up
Hit her
in
on the
there.
head, and that's when she
Yeah,
decided
she's
she was
like,
going to
wow,
be who she is.
I now know the Force and everything I need to know. Thank you, random lightsaber. I'm going to put you in a box and wait for somebody to come and find you in 30 years.
Is this a double lightsaber back here?
No, that's her fucking staff, dum-dum.
It looks looks like a small
That's
staff,
her
dude.
staff, dum-dum.
It's a small staff.
It's her staff, dum-dum.
I think that's Darth
Next
Maul.
Video.
I think that's Darth Maul's lightsaber, and Darth Maul is going to come back.
Next video. Picture.
Okay, here's the robot picture. So here's R2-D2. Oh, God. Seeing Anthony Daniels in the C-3PO suit is very unsettling for some reason.
It's just like, put the mask on.
Yeah, we don't need to see you. Or take it off and stand next to it. I don't like seeing him in it.
Nope, next.
Some reason I didn't think he was actually in that suit.
Oh, yeah, he's in that suit.
Did you know this guy's like a Titanic ass?
Really?
Yeah. Like, apparently he is very stingy about C-3PO. Like, he's known for, like, telling directors that C-3PO wouldn't do that.
I think I've heard that.
It's like, dude, C-3PO does whatever I write, and I will replace you in 40 seconds because there's 300 other British men that can do your
shit to
voice.
goddamn say in episode 2 when he was getting flailed around in a droid factory and had his head taken
That's
off.
before he had 30 years of I'm C-3PO going through his head. Everyone,
maybe. No, that was the prequels, man.
No, maybe he respects George Lucas.
Yeah.
Because they shat all over C-3PO.
They shat on him in episode 2.
Yeah,
he was the comic relief.
He was.
The only.
It was.
The one and only.
Okay, what about this picture of Rey? Again, sexualizing her. And Chewbacca, who, again, is being sexualized.
Oh, yeah, he's nude all the time.
So hot.
Just so many women are wanting him nowadays.
Dude, I want Chewie.
It's a good-looking photo.
That is a cool photo, actually. It's the Millennium Falcon cockpit looking out from the island, obviously. Pretty cool.
Interesting.
I kind of like that one. Carrie Fisher, Oscar Isaac, John Boyega, and Kelly Marie Tran as the Rebels, General Leia Organa, Poe Dameron, Finn, and Rosie Taco. Rose Tico, and BB-8.
I think, she's one of the new characters.
You don't say.
The main ones.
Dude, I love John Boyega and Finn. Like, I mean, it sucks that Carrie Fisher's dead because I like Princess Leia, but like these two dudes are my favorite part of the new Star Wars.
Really?
I hope they have a bromance. You know, like they're the new bad boys. That's what I want, man.
The new bad.
I want them to be the new bad boys.
The new Chewie and Han. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I want. That's
Right.
That's a better reference.
Except
than
you would
Bad
actually
Boys.
understand both of them.
Yes, that's what I want. I want them to be the new Chewie and Han for sure.
That'd be cool.
And then
I'm
she's
assuming that's
C-3PO.
what will happen.
Right? I would have to think so.
I would think.
Okay, here's Carrie Fisher with her daughter, Billy Lord, who is Lieutenant Kadel Connix.
And that's her actual daughter,
I
right?
think so,
Yeah.
yes. Look at the big Rebel Alliance symbol on her chest.
Uh-huh.
And that picture's just sad because she's dead. So, Daisy Ridley as Resistance Warrior, Rey, and Mark Hamill as Mentor Luke Skywalker on location in Ireland.
Did you hear that he came out recently, Mark Hamill, and was like, he had said to Garrett Edwards or whoever's directing, he's
Ryan
like,
Johnson?
Yeah, I respect you, but I fundamentally disagree with everything that you've taken this character in.
Really?
Yeah. He said, well, and about JJ, too. He said, I respect both directors. I show up, I do my work for Luke Skywalker, but personally, I fundamentally disagree with how the character's been taken.
Really? Now, does that make you more or less excited to see it?
I am just as excited because there's lightsabers, and
Well,
that just turns on my
I
lightsaber.
kind of like it
so,
more because
But,
Luke Skywalker was just a whiny jerk.
yeah.
And I guess I didn't read anything about the expanded universe, so I don't know what Luke Skywalker was like. I mean, I assume he was like a stand-up god type citizen. Like I remember like when I played the video games where Luke Skywalker was always like, oh, he's like some legend, you know.
But he's a dumbass. I watched this.
Right.
I watched this.
That's how I
like,
feel
review
that he is,
video of Return of the Jedi, and it was all about the opening scene. Like his entire plan is to send in 2 droids to try and convince Jabba to fucking get rid of Han, and
he gets
then
Leia captured,
the next
Han
plan
captured.
is
They're
to
almost dead.
infiltrate it via Lando and Princess Leia, and then give them Chewie as well.
Right.
And then finally, for you to show up, choke some people, try to kill Jabba or like threaten him or something, then have to fight some monster creature without your lightsaber because you thought it was a good idea to give it to R2, and then you know that you are going to be taken instead of killed immediately, taken to the sand pit where you can jump off and do this.
Especially since he probably could have just picked up the phone and been like, hey guys, remember when I blew up the Death Star and Han was there and Leia was there? Yeah, we're all captured. Can you just go blow up Jabba the Hutt, please?
Also, so as soon as he gets his lightsaber on the sand speeder shit,
I didn't even think of it.
as soon as he gets the lightsaber, he just starts wailing on people.
You're right.
Like, he doesn't give a shit. He's just back, forth, like mowing the grass with a lightsaber, except it's through bodies. So why couldn't you have just done that when you were looking at Jabba? You were 10 feet away from Jabba.
Jabba literally enslaves people.
Literally just spin in a circle.
Like, literally enslaves them.
Not a good Jedi.
And he doesn't care.
Not a good Jedi. He was dumb. Just dumb. Also, Ewoks. Stupid.
You know, that doesn't... It's kind of just a thing about the whole Jedi in the first place.
Yeah.
Like,
they're not really that smart.
They didn't really care about
Guys,
people.
we're going to give up sex and women to have our own dicks in our hands that we can choose the color of, and then we'll fight each other a lot.
I just, like, why do the Jedi allow slavery to be a thing?
Because there's not enough of them to handle the entire galaxy.
There's not.
Yeah.
There's not.
It's a big galaxy, man.
They had nothing. What did they do?
What do you mean?
What did they do?
They were on one planet and they just sit there, meditating, training, waiting.
Dude, I'm glad they're dead.
Mm-hmm.
They're worthless.
They're ending.
I never even thought about that. The Jedi did nothing.
They just sat back, waited, and then took the shit that they got.
One guy beat them.
The one who went probably against the Jedi code the most. Kind of. Like, he didn't really formally train.
I mean, it took one dude who was a
way
senator from this
older than
weird
ever
planet.
Anybody to train.
It took one senator and one rogue Jedi, and they took down the entire organization.
Yeah. Kind of shows some shit-ass shitness in Yoda and Mace and Obi-Wan.
Who listens to Yoda?
Dumb people. Because all those people are now dead.
And you know J.J. Abrams had this discussion with his writing staff, and that's probably why they changed Luke's character, because the most interesting he could be is, I messed up.
I heard that he might be like somewhat a villain-ish.
I think the way they would take him is he's an idiot, and he messed up real bad, and now he feels bad about it.
Yeah. I don't know.
Because that's what I would think he would be mad at. Like, I'm okay if he's a villain. Like, how could he be a villain?
Villain-ish, yeah.
Like, I don't really care about that. Like, actually, that would kind of make him interesting.
Right.
I feel like Mark Hamill would be mad if they made Luke Skywalker not a god.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if they made him kind of dumb. Because he is kind of dumb.
He is dumb.
He's kind of dumb.
But I don't know.
I just don't feel like Rey in those fancy Ugg boots would take any of his shit if he was, an idiot.
Yeah.
Because Rey's very street smart.
I don't know. We'll see. She's street smart, but she's not force smart, and that's what she needs to become.
Well, she is force smart, though.
I mean, I guess.
Kylo went into her brain one time, and now she's a Master Jedi, so... Speaking of Kylo, he's doing, like, this thing.
Hey, Kylo, if you want to hold a goat, raise your hand. Yeah!
Okay, just how do you describe this photo of Kylo Ren?
Let's see.
He's, like, attacking an air monster with his lightsaber.
Yeah, I mean, not... So, just stoic-ass face. The most stoic face you can have. But imagine someone who was just told that they're getting $1 million. They would, jump in the air and raise one hand and be like, yeah!
It's the freeze frame of Breakfast Club.
There you go.
That's what it is. But he's got a lightsaber, and he's not enthused.
Yes, he is very unenthused.
Could you please take this photo and just Photoshop in random things that he's attacking, like a bear?
Yeah.
Just like him going up against a bear.
That's probably the point of this photo,
I love that, yeah. Here's Carrie Fisher and Mark Hamill just hugging.
Aw.
It's the only time they had shared screen. Is he grabbing her boob? Oh, no, that's her arm. At first look, I thought he was like, Yeah. Sad again.
Yeah.
But, I mean, this is the best photo. This one right here. I think this is the best photo in the whole thing with Rey and Chewie and the Millennium Falcon. Because... yeah, I can get much better than that. Yeah, man.
Who's her parents, man?
I don't think she has
Qui-Gon Jinn.
I still believe she's a clone of Anakin.
It's Qui-Gon Jinn.
It's not Qui-Gon Jinn.
Jar Jar Binks.
That I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially the way she talks.
The Sith Lord Jar Jar.
Yeah, I think she's
that
a
was
clone
the
of
dumbest
Anakin,
theory
dude.
to
Why
ever
does she
come
have a
out of
British
anywhere.
accent? She grew up without a family, alone on Jakku, and she has a British accent. Explain that to me.
The only person in Star Wars to have a British accent would be Imperial Guards and Mon Mothma, I think.
C-3PO.
Yeah, that too. I don't know. Maybe she was raised in elegance.
Obi-Wan has a British accent.
Oh, shit!
Yeah, man.
Qui-Gon doesn't.
No.
He's Scottish.
He's Scottish.
He's Scottish.
Yeah.
Hello.
Qui-Gon, or Obi-Wan, though, British accent.
No, I'm telling you, Obi-Wan. Why haven't we seen him before? We haven't seen him. The only time that we have seen him was when Rey was there having the Force vision.
Well, right, and he goes,
We heard
Rey,
him.
Ray.
Mm-hmm.
Ray.
And
do you hear him
Ewan
in the new
McGregor
trailer?
has said that he wants to be in these.
Dude, have you seen those side-by-side shots of Ewan McGregor and Alec Guinness, like where they split their face down the middle and they look exactly
Really?
the same? Yeah,
That's pretty
man.
crazy.
We'll search
That was a
that
very
for you.
good choice.
Ewan McGregor. That's the only thing that he got right. George Lucas got
and
right.
The prequels. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's the only thing he got right is Ewan McGregor. I mean, Qui-Gon is good too, but they killed him off, so fail. Yeah. Yeah, look at all these. Like this one. Yeah, Alec Guinness and Ewan McGregor's face combined. Look at that.
It's weird. There you go. That's pretty damn accurate.
I mean, this
would
one they
say.
just colorized it to
Right.
be the same color, but that's his face. It looks exactly the same.
Pretty good Obi-Wan.
What about this one?
What is this one? I morphed the desert poster with Alec Guinness.
I don't know, man. I just don't know.
Oh, there you go. It's Ewan McGregor's new movie.
I mean, he looks like Alec Guinness.
He does.
And he says he wants to come back. So,
I'm just saying, do it. Obi-Wan was like the best part.
have you seen this? Where he's Jesus?
No.
Right here, dude.
Oh, yeah. That's so ridiculous.
The picture of him that Bob thinks is Jesus.
Thing
All right,
ever.
man. What else do you want to talk about?
We can
else
talk
we write
some
about?
science stuff, man.
King Arthur video, that's yours.
Yeah.
And the Game of Thrones trailer. You are wearing your Game of Thrones shirt today.
Oh, we
so.
can talk about Game of Thrones.
Let's talk
man.
about your science stuff, though.
All right,
Let's
it's
not
quick.
talk about TV and movies.
It's more
the entire
Elon
time.
Musk stuff because he's the modern day Iron Man.
He's a
inventing
futurist,
stuff,
right?
Yeah,
Iron Man was literally modeled after Elon Musk.
Yeah, he's got a new moonshot project that
Okay.
he's trying to. It's called.
This isn't
frick.
Boring Company, is it? This is a
What?
different thing that he's wanting to
Yeah, this is BrainLink.
do? BrainLink.
BrainLink, I think is what it's
Cool
called.
name, dude.
And yeah, it's about developing computer systems to integrate into our skulls. And I think the article I watched was saying that he's focusing first on disabilities. So like
Okay.
if a paraplegic can't move their arms, it's mainly, or ALS, it's mainly that the brain works fine and is sending the signals. It's the body parts that are messing the signals up.
Okay.
So if you could install an exoskeleton of some sort
That could
and
interpret those
interpret
signals, yeah.
the signals that could move your arm, and you could be not paraplegic anymore. So that's the first thing.
Well,
that
that
he
makes
wants
sense,
to
right? Because
start
that's
to
like
do.
why Stephen Hawking is still, his brain
Right.
works fine. He just can't move his body.
Yep.
But he's still like one of the smartest people in
Right,
the
and
entire
ALS,
world.
yeah, that's one of the bigger diseases, or I don't know. Anyways, so also,
Can he cure cancer, though?
what?
Can he cure cancer?
Not yet.
You think Elon Musk will be the first guy to cure cancer?
I mean, I doubt it.
Why aren't there more people like
They're
Elon Musk?
microbots. If you get microbots, then yeah, that'll happen. If you get tiny little nano
Right, like live in
microbots
your
that
bloodstream.
can find
Yeah.
screwed up cancer cells, then yeah, that's
How
how
come
you
there
do
aren't
that.
more people like Elon Musk?
Because people aren't billionaires. Well, we
There's
have
a
the
lot of
most.
billionaires.
We have the most billionaires we've ever had in history.
There's
ever
like, I
right
mean,
now.
let's just say there's 100 billionaires, which there's way more of, by
I
the way.
think there's about 400
yeah.
now. Yeah.
Let's say there's 100. There's only one Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Why aren't there more?
I don't know.
Because Elon Musk is making money. Like, he's not, like, going broke.
Okay, so here's the second part that got even worse and
Okay.
crazy. Was
Totally into it right now.
was that having this brain connection would allow, sharing to become unlimited. You
So,
could
like,
you
I
could
could-
live you could download an entire day of another human's life into your brain sensor.
Oh my God.
Experience that through your eyes
Damn bills are in.
and feel like you lived it via the memory. And also, you could communicate with every human how you're feeling immediately at that point in time.
Okay, so what's...
So, like, the back and forth with Republican and Democrats, like, you could find at least some common ground and see other people's
Oh, 'cause
points
you
of
could
view
feel their viewpoint.
because you feel it rather than just hear it. And so that would
That could be
unlock-
scary, though, because, like, what if Hitler could give that to people?
Yeah. Give what?
Like, his inability to feel.
Oh yeah.
Like, could you give the absence
I would
of
assume
feelings to people?
Yeah. I don't know, man. It just sounded, the whole video was very skeptical and just like,
because your brain isn't,
just
or is it? Is it
speculating?
Is it
That's what's
ones and
speculative.
zeros, so to speak? Like, it's obviously not ones and zeros, but can it be quantified to like a line of code?
DNA's getting there. I don't know if that's the same
You're right.
thing,
So
but
I would
DNA
assume
is there. Like,
it would
I
be the
heard
same,
Google's
right?
trying to work on storing information on DNA now.
Okay, but if
because
you
could fit
could
so much information
hack,
into like that much.
if you could, hack's the wrong word because it ain't the 80s anymore,
Right.
as Tony Stark would say. But like, anything that can be made into code can then be fabricated.
Right.
Like, you can take something that's been made, like a website, for example, and then change the color of it incredibly easy.
Right.
And so if you can get the CSS for your brain, you could make a bad memory good. Or, like, let's say you go through a breakup and you got dumped. You went and changed some values, and now you dumped her, and now you're happy instead of sad.
Right. It's messed up, man.
Or you had a bad lasagna.
Dude, we're gonna become the gold people from Guardians 2. We
Where
are
everyone's
going
just
to genetically code and engineer everyone because we're gonna get to the point where we can't. And why wouldn't you?
Doesn't it make cloning kind of obsolete? Because cloning would be, the idea behind cloning is organ harvesting, essentially.
Right.
Like, you have a spare part in case you get in a car accident.
Your body decays, but your mind
Like,
never really
I'll
does.
give you an example. So, movie Minority Report.
Yeah.
All right. I love this example because, to me, this is what futurism is. Like, in Minority Report, it's lauded for having these interfaces and stuff that were way ahead of their time. Like, they literally talk to these engineers and stuff that were working on futurism, and they're like, in the future, you're going to be able to move things with your hand. Screens are going to be clear. But there's one thing in Minority Report that they didn't do because no one had thought it would be. No one thought it was as a possibility.
Yeah.
And that's when they take this murder off this board and they move it with their hand onto a little disc, and then they walk the disc over to the other board, and then they move it back onto another board.
Yeah.
That would never, 15 years later, however old that movie is, it's in the cloud. Today, you would just take it, you'd swipe it real hard, and it would end up over there.
Yeah.
There's no need for a disc because
Right.
everything's communicated over a network. So to me, that's like an example of what futurism is. No, they didn't think about that because that wasn't something anyone thought was possible.
Right.
To communicate mass amount of data over Wi-Fi. It just wasn't a thing that existed. So is that what cloning is right now, where we think cloning's the way all this is going to be done, but in reality, clones are going to be arbitrary because we're going to invent nanobots that just fix your body. There's no need to clone. Your body can be hacked
It might
and
be
updated.
that, or you genetically are modified at the beginning to not
Right.
decay
Like,
over
you could take a
time, or-
psychopath
yeah.
and change the way their brain works
Right.
so they're no longer a psychopath.
Basically, yeah, I feel like every single problem that humanity faces, which
Right.
is personality
Right.
in its
Mostly,
own way,
yeah.
which is the scary part.
Right.
But yeah, it will
Because
be
if you make a
manufactured
clone,
away
if
because
it's
it
a
can
chemical imbalance or however psychopathy works, I'm not a
Yeah.
doctor, but I assume you make a clone of that person, they're going to have the same imbalance.
yeah,
Because why wouldn't they?
Right,
I mean, I'm sure
because it's the
upbringing and
same
stuff has
information.
some
Right.
basis in that. But regardless of how you're brought up, I mean, there can be two people brought up the same awful way, and one could turn into a murderer, and one could turn into an upstanding citizen. So there's got to be something different in their brain. So
Genetically,
if you
I feel
cloned those people, you'd have the same flaw.
Right.
Well, Elon Musk could take this line of code and change it from bad to good. That subverts the need for a clone.
right. I would agree.
And if
I
you
mean,
can fix-
cloning,
if you
I
can
never
fix-
thought was really a thing other than like slave labor. Like,
Well, right,
we
it's like the
wouldn't-
island
Yeah,
where you
we
have them
wouldn't-
there for spare parts or.
energy or something.
Right.
I don't know. Like that would be.
It's more
messed
like a
up,
Matrix
but,
style
yeah,
thing.
it
We
wouldn't
grow
be
people in artificial
necessarily
wombs
us. It
and-
wouldn't be Homo sapien. It would be something weird. It would be a new, basically.
Sure, they clone for
species.
experiments.
Yeah. Right.
If you take away someone's mind, do they cease to be human? Like, if you make a clone, but then you have the ability to turn their brain off, Because if you have the ability to cure ALS, you can give them something similar.
Mm-hmm.
So does that stop them from being a human? Like, if you can grow a human artificially that has this thing of code, so they're never even alive to experience life in the first place. They're literally born a vegetable.
Right.
But they have all the inner workings of you.
Mm-hmm.
Does that then make the ethics
It's
question
just a
of,
body
are they a
without
person?
soul, yeah. That's fucked up, man. And I don't know if it's fucked up because it's going against God, or if we're just brought up like naturally to think we are,
I think
the
we're
number one.
We're
and
too
we
dumb
can't
to
really,
understand it. Like, how can we process that?
Something better than us or something.
Right. But there is.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, think about people in the 1300s. Like, I bet the stuff we do today would blow their minds.
Oh yeah, it was called this is a Elon Musk term. It's the DPI or something like that.
Dots per inch, yeah.
Death per cycle or I forget what it means, but it's like how many years would it be of somebody who died that many years ago if they were brought back today?
Okay.
Would they literally die of shock from all the changes that they would have? I
mean, they used to put leeches on people to cure them on diseases.
From Washington to like 1960, that was about the change. So about like a 200-year DPI
which is
or
not
whatever it
that
was.
long in
it
the
wasn't
grand scheme
that
of
bad,
things,
but yeah, now he was like saying that it could be 10, 20 years. Yeah, it would be in our lifetime that people would be like, I can't
Well, it's kind of like the frog.
We're editing
in
human genes
right,
now.
It's kind of like the frog in the boiling water a little bit. Like, we don't experience the shock because we're slowly experiencing it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if you think about it, 10-year-old me, if I just woke up as 30-year-old me today with the processing power of 3 of those computers in my hand, that would be shocking.
Yeah.
It's not something that you would think exists. Like, I mean, I was playing Horizon Zero Dawn. I don't know if we ever talked about Horizon Zero Dawn. Like, the plot line of Horizon Zero Dawn, spoiler alert, okay, for anyone who hasn't played Horizon Zero Dawn, this is another really great game. You should pick it up after The Witcher. But it's the same type of style. It's not as big or in depth. In fact, The Witcher ruined Horizon Zero Dawn because it's not as good.
Gotcha.
Regardless, the story is incredibly interesting. Essentially, you are a girl, 18 years old. You were banished at birth. Basically, the entire world is in tribes. So, like, imagine the state of Colorado is in this tribe called the Nora.
Wait, isn't it the one with like metal dinosaurs?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And like, you're in this one tribe, and then New Mexico and Arizona are a different tribe. Like, it's not as border, but you get the idea. And everything's like kind of Indian tribes. Like, they have a religion, they worship the sky or they worship the sun, and they have bows and arrows. And the entire world is populated by these machine beasts. And you're 18 when the story begins, and about 15 years ago, the machines stopped being, nice horse machines and started being aggressive horses. And they used to just be, okay, we'll kill them and take them for parts and build new things with them, but now they charge at you when you walk down the road.
Yeah.
And which is not a huge deal until you see some of the dinosaur ones or there's buzzard ones. It just becomes an increasingly dangerous world, and every year it's getting worse, and no one knows why. Well, as you play through, the entire game is based on this girl who has a little computer device she found in this relic of the old world. Well, it turns out the old world is 2060.
Okay.
And it's been 1,000 years.
Wow.
And as you go through the entire game, you realize that this corporation called the Pharaoh Corporation, was building robots for the military. They were AI robots. So instead of soldiers, they were sending in robots. So they would have like, they'd have big tanks that shoot fire and have giant guns. Well, they went too far, and they built this robot that could make new robots. And the idea was, it's all happening very slowly. Like, they rolled out this new model, and what it does is it finds dead robots on the ground, and it repairs them back into normal robots. And then that took too long, and so the next model was it could literally fabricate new robots. And it did this by sucking in organic trees and all this stuff to use it to build these materials. And this happened over 30 years. So it happened very slowly to the people that were living. But then all of a sudden, these robots can self-replicate, and they eat organic tissue, and it's the end of the world. Because they put this incredible cryptography system into there so the other enemy team can't hack these robots. They can't turn them off because it would take 100 years to break the encryption. There's literally a D-Day where the robots have eaten every organic thing in our world is just a husk of a planet.
Wow.
And so in 2065, they build this thing called Zero Dawn, and it's essentially a massive AI. And these 100 people, like these cultural leaders and these scientists and these engineers, they all get together in this bunker and they build this thing over a year. And at the end of this year, they nuke the planet. And everything on Earth is destroyed. They let the robots eat all the organic matter, and they eventually die out because they have no fuel. And then the idea was that this AI would then boot up and start rebuilding the entire Earth with new machines. And that's why there's horses, and that's why there's cows, because it would fabricate all these things that the Earth needs in order to live. And that's how the end of the world came about. And, I mean, there's lots of other little minutiae, like they destroyed the cultural center, and that's why everyone lives as Indians, because one of the scientists went crazy, and he didn't believe that they should know about the past because then they'd repeat their mistakes. So he just deleted it and then killed all the people that were around. It's a whole thing. It's a really cool story.
Crazy.
It's a cool story. But it's like, I think the reason I liked it is it feels like the most plausible scenario for how the world would actually end. It's a very slow process to where someone makes a mistake and it ends up destroying the ozone or, you know, I mean, because that's how everyone dies on the planet. It's the atmosphere gets used up. There's no more atmosphere. Everyone dies. All the trees die. And it's a really cool, plausible story. And it's based in the near future.
Right.
And the whole reason I brought this up is because you find this out by scanning old computers and stuff that have power reserves and all that. And you look at that and you go, there's no way this server that's, you know, this it's like the size of Aaron's headboard. You know, it's in a conference room, and it says it's a 1,000 zettabyte server that's running on 3% reserve power, and it's been 1,000 years. You're like, there's no way. But in 35 years from now, 45 years from now, 1,000 zettabytes that has basically unlimited energy, that's something that could literally happen.
Yeah.
Like, there are people that hold terabytes on their thumbnails. Like, we're going to be there.
Oh, yeah.
And that's crazy to think about.
DNA.
Because, I mean, the whole reason we brought this up is, like, we're talking about the shock level and how it's happening in our lifetimes, but we're slowly boiling. We don't notice it. And it's going to be crazy because, I mean, God willing, we'll both be alive in 2064.
Yeah.
You know, we'll be old, but we can look back to literally when we record this show, preserved forever on the internet, and we can go, we were talking about how ridiculous it was that there was 1,000 zettabytes, and we'll be laughing because we'll look around our house and it'll be everywhere.
Yeah.
And that's crazy to think
Fucked
about.
up, man.
That's crazy to think about.
Timelines and shit. We'll all be exploded by then, though.
I mean, yeah, there'll definitely be a nuclear war and we'll all be
yeah.
dead. It'll probably
Just
happen in the next
fiery
4 years, but
Apocalypse, yep.
yeah, because you know, you've heard our intro, but but yeah, man, that type of futurist Elon Musk stuff, like,
It's crazy.
it's I don't know how to do anything he talks about, but I love to talk about it.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't know if I would want a brain computer
I mean, maybe that's why
integration.
there's not more Elon Musk, because no one's that smart.
Yeah.
Like, how many billionaires just are really good businessmen, but they're not incredibly intelligent scientist types?
Yeah, I would say that. Like, I mean, he does not seem to have a problem with risking large amounts of money on
Right.
new things.
He cares
Like, if you
more
have
about advancement than he does his fortune,
money,
which is
right,
why I
yeah.
think it
typical
works.
billionaires are like, how can I keep this money
Right.
growing?
They
rather
don't
than
wanna
how
take
can I
risks.
make new
Right.
things. That
When I
may or may
imagine
not
most
work.
billionaires hire Elon Musk's and pay them $250 a year, which
Right.
is a great wage, but
Right.
then they just
I mean,
all they
that's
are.
literally what Elon Musk does.
Right.
is
He got hit with the
hires a
lucky
whole
six, so to
lot of-
speak, because eBay bought PayPal for
Yeah.
billions of dollars, and now he's this independent, incredibly intelligent man.
Right.
And now he can build rockets for fun,
Yeah.
and solar panels for fun, and
crazy.
hack brains.
Cars that run on
But there
energy.
seems to only be like one of those types of people a generation. Like, we had Steve Jobs, now we got Elon Musk, and who's the next one? Maybe it's you, dude.
Yeah,
I bet it's you.
it's me. I'm going to invent something.
I mean, you do talk all the time about inventing new things, man.
I know, but
I'm
I
just
don't know
waiting
what
for
that
you to
would
come up
be.
with one.
I'm not a genius. I am a
Maybe you
kid
are.
from Kansas. If anything, I'll become Superman.
Superman's from a planet, though, not from Kansas.
Who knows? I'm not. Amnesia.
I've seen baby photos.
Amnesia.
I've seen baby photos.
That doesn't mean I wasn't a baby when I got here.
What? Are you saying that you with your mother as a baby was taken on another planet and your whole family migrated here?
What? No, I was sent here from a long, far distance away to my parents, and they found me.
And then they staged like a hospital setting?
as their own.
Okay.
Yeah. You saw pictures of me in the hospital?
I feel like I've seen pictures of you being held
born.
by your mother.
No.
Well, I didn't see you coming out of your mom, but I
Exactly.
feel like
don't
I've
think
seen
I was
pictures of you
there
in the
either.
hospital.
No, you're dumb. Those don't exist. I'm Superman.
I feel like I've seen those photos.
Boop.
Did you just blow me up by poking me?
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, we've sufficiently wasted another 2 hours of our lives.
Yep.
We should probably end this show.
We should do that.
So what do we talk about today? Lots of movies,
Lots of movies again.
and then lots of science.
And more science.
we
stuff
should just
that
really
we
change the
probably
name
don't
of the
know.
description of our show to movies and science.
Yeah.
Because that's all we talk about in Star Wars. Movies, Star Wars, and science.
Film, war, science.
Like if our show and the words we say could be like moved into like a tag cloud, I feel like it would be like Sony Pictures, Marvel, Disney, Star Wars, Elon Musk.
Yep. Those would be the bigger ones.
And those would be like
those
the
would be
most
it.
biggest-
I think.
Yeah.
That
So-
and Alex Jones.
Oh, and Alex Paul.
My chili.
We don't talk about politics as much as we probably could. But it's mostly
I've been
because
getting
like
out of it.
it's like what could we say?
Everybody says everything you can on it. I
Right.
mean, everybody does. So I don't know what to add.
Right.
I mean, I feel like there's a fucking Russian agent in the White House, and half of the country, Republicans, aren't doing a damn thing about it.
Yeah, everyone
So
knows it.
They don't
Half the
care.
country doesn't care.
They just want to move forward.
Right.
And so if you don't care about something
What can you
like
do to
that,
change your mind?
then
Yeah.
what the fuck
Yeah,
am
I feel
supposed
like
to talk
talking about politics is literally opposite of talking about Elon Musk, where they're talking about advancing everything.
Oh, yeah,
and it's in
moving
a
forward.
positive way,
Yeah.
and the other side of that coin is
It's-
just staying exactly the same.
It's
not getting
it's
worse.
just stagnated.
Yeah,
it's
it's
not
just
even
doing
moving.
nothing.
It's not even going down. It's not going up. It's just
Yeah.
same. It's like, let's just not mess the boat up.
right.
I don't know.
I don't know,
It's
man.
dumb.
It's crazy.
Well,
So yeah, there we talk about
political
politics
rant.
too. There we go. All right, guys. Well, that's it for. Oh, I should probably play Headspin. I can't end the show until I play our stupid outro
that's
music.
true.
There we go, man.
Ba-da-ba.
I like how you're trying to hum it. You're probably not right at all.
Ba-da-ba.
You re-listen to these, don't you? After they're done,
Ba-da-ba.
don't you re-listen to these like
yeah.
after the pass? So, do you ever like hear this and go, "Yeah, I was right on"?
Yeah, I was right on every time.
Okay,
I got the greatest tempo.
dude, I'm gonna totally believe you.
Hearing invisible music.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for listening. This has been the Seth and Colby Show. Check out everything about us at sethandcolby.com, including where to subscribe on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, all the fun places. Watch the video live every Sunday at 2 o'clock. By the way, we're going to do an earlier show next Sunday, if that's okay with you, because Riverfest starts next Sunday, and there's something Chris
just
wants
get
to do.
change the show willy-nilly based on your time frame.
Yeah,
Ah.
I
then
was.
the week after that, we're gonna have to change to midnight because I got a busy day
It's fine, dude.
doing nothing.
I'm self-employed. I can do a show at midnight.
Whatever then. Thought we were being consistent for our
Well, we're
audience.
trying.
But fuck you, audience. You just get to know. You just have to follow.
Hey, man, I'll blame Chris.
All the time.
I'll blame her. It's her
Okay.
fault.
Yep.
'Cause
It's better.
I mean, it's Riverfest, man. There's stuff to do.
There's not.
I
That's
think
the
there's like
stupidest thing to do.
some band or something playing that she wants to
Stupidest
see.
thing to do. Leonard Skinner.
See, there's a concert.
Leonard Skinner.
There's it's not Leonard Skinner. It's Low Cat.
What? Low Cat?
Low Cash.
Johnny Cash.
It's the story of my life. Low Cash.
Low Cash. Well, have fucking fun. Because that sounds like hell.
You don't want to come, man?
No, I
Come
don't.
on, it might be fun.
I'm not buying no button.
Come on, it's
I
like
don't
$6.
support that evil redneck white trash piece of shit.
There's some cool people playing this year, man. Yeah.
You can. Nope.
Well, anyway, we're going to do it earlier next week, so just follow us on Twitter at Seth and Colby. We'll talk about when we go live, but it'll be at sethandcolby.com. Just click the watch live button. Everything's there. T-shirts, links to our videos, links to the live stream, links to the podcast. We appreciate you guys listening, and leave us a review on iTunes.
Yeah.
I would really like that.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, thanks, guys. We'll see y'all.
See ya.
Next week. Bye.